It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Okay, from the start.
Acerola cherry.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, banana.
Beets, bell pepper, broccoli.
Blueberries, blackberries, cranberry.
I make my Texas superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Mangosteen.
Pineapple, sweet potato.
Papaya, parsley, peach.
You can see all 55 on TexasSuperfood.com.
Raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on superfood, I haven't been sick.
I'm Dennis Black, here in Dallas, Texas. Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit?
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
5:09. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. It's the very latest this early morning with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Near North Side, North Avenue has reopened between Wells and Larrabee. There was an earlier fire at North Avenue in Orleans. Roadway has opened again. Villa Park, crash on southbound 83. A good bit south of St. Charles near Washington. Right lane is blocked. Expressways and tollways are looking pretty good right now. Most of the overnight road work is wrapping up. There is now again access from the outbound Eisenhower to the outbound Kennedy. Ryan has road work, 87th split in 3 left lanes. Other overnight work is wrapped up. Not seeing any delays at the moment. Downtown Jackson is now blocked. Lakeshore Drive to Columbus, both directions, along with Balbo's. You'll have some additional congestion on Lakeshore Drive. This is all set up for Sunday's marathon. Traffic, service of Staples. Staples has everything you need for your business. Low price, like paper, ink, and toner, even office furniture and technology. Right now, buy 2 reams of Staples brand paper and get 1 free. Select SKUs in-store only, plus tax where applicable. Ends 10/7. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds. High 75, then a mild night tonight with periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Low 60. Tomorrow, periods of rain continue. High 71. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
57 at O'Hare, 61 along the lakefront, 54 this morning in Aurora. Our next news update is at 5:30. Breaking news as it happens. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So a lot of developments in the Las Vegas massacre case. Bits and pieces of information coming out about the shooter. We got, for the first time, a statement from his girlfriend through her attorney. Why don't we start there?
Want to start there? What's that guy's name? Her attorney's
Lombard,
name?
Matt Lombard. He offered this statement on behalf of his client, Miss Danley, after
her interview with the FBI.
And my heart breaks for all who have lost loved ones. I knew Stephen Paddock as a kind, caring, quiet man. I loved him and hoped for a quiet future together with him. He never said anything to me or took any action that I was aware of that I understood in any way to be a warning that something horrible like this was going to happen. A little more than 2 weeks ago, Stephen told me he found a cheap ticket for me to the Philippines and that he wanted me to take a trip home to see my family. Like all Filipinos abroad, I was excited to go home and see family and friends. While there, he wired me money, which he said was for me to buy a house for me and my family. I was grateful, but honestly, I was worried that first, the unexpected trip home and then the money was a way of breaking up with me. It never occurred to me in any way whatsoever that he was planning violence against anyone. I have not made a statement until now because I have been cooperating with the authorities, and I voluntarily flew back to America because I know that the FBI and Las Vegas Police Department wanted to talk to me.
So there you go. Now, the interesting there's a lot that's interesting about that, but one of the things is what Sheriff Joseph Lombardo said yesterday about this, the time that went into acquiring the weapons and planning this out. Here's Sheriff Lombardo.
So today I'll provide you some updates on our investigation of the mass shooting Sunday night at Route 91. More than 100 investigators have spent the last 72 hours combing through the life of 64-year-old Stephen Paddock to produce a profile of someone I will call disturbed and dangerous. What we know is Stephen Paddock is a man who spent decades acquiring weapons and ammo and living a secret life, much of which will never be fully understood. He meticulously planned on the worst domestic attack in United States history.
So the decades of planning, and you think about it, and you think about Danley's statement through her attorney. And look, if you buy a gun here and there and buy some ammo here and there over a long period of time, it's not remarkable. He's got a gun safe. He has a few guns. I mean, remember his brother Eric saying earlier in the week when he was first interviewed that he had a couple of guns. I don't know where he got all these guns.
But how could Mary Lou not know if he was stashing that much ammunition? I mean, he was armed to the nines and to the teeth with ammo.
Well, as I said, you build up a cache over time, and you have it behind lock and key in a safe, which is what he had in the garage, according to neighbors.
And maybe he even had a storage unit where he had even more. But this morning we're learning, too, that Mary Lou, he might have been cheating on you. Investigators are looking for a mystery woman. And you had brought this up the morning of the shooting. A few hours after the shooting, you said that there was a woman seen in a car with him prior, that morning.
There was a report, yeah.
Yeah, well, they confirmed that they're trying to identify this mystery woman who was seen with him in the days before the massacre. They don't know if she has any connection to the attack, but they'd like to speak with her as they're trying to build this timeline. Here is the sheriff.
More than 100 investigators have spent the last 72 hours combing through the life of 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. Stephen Paddock is a man who spent decades acquiring weapons and ammo and living a secret life.
That was the wrong soundbite. Here is the sheriff.
Look at this. I mean, you look at the weapon obtaining, the different amounts of tannerite available. Do you think this was all accomplished on his own? Self-value, face value. You got to make the assumption that he had to have some help at some point.
And that's why they're looking for this alleged mystery woman who was seen with him in his car and walking into the casino.
Some alleged help at some point. That makes sense. That would not be surprising. I want to distinguish that, though, from a lot of the conspiracy theories out there. Even some alleged eyewitness testimony or
beliefs based on what they heard or think they saw that there were multiple shooters. To say at some point, remember he's talking about the acquiring weapons over decades, meticulously plotting this over some long period of time. At some point he had help is different than multiple shooters. So before we go down the rabbit hole of multiple shooters, like there is a shooter that is still on the loose that is materially responsible for that massacre, evidence.
Well, according to the county sheriff, there are no other shooters. He was the only shooter. They just think people provided material goods. What we learned also this morning, those cameras that he had, thank God they were not recording video. And also they thought that he was trying to escape, that he planned on surviving the shooting. I mean, surviving, shooting all those people and then planned to leave without getting caught. And he was also, he chose, and they're saying also this morning that he chose that location because he was trying to hit these fuel tankers.
The aviation fuel tanks.
Yeah. At the airport, at the nearby airport.
Right. And there were a couple of bullets that apparently pierced at least one of the tanks, but unfortunately did not cause, obviously, a fire or explosion, which is what he may have been plotting as well. That's, this is the whole kind of trying to follow all the leads and put together what he was thinking, not just the motive, but then what he was thinking in terms of the execution of this horrific act that he committed. And there's just a lot that kind of runs into each other that doesn't square up still. And this is why the sheriff said we may never know all of the details of at least the why, if not the how.
I remember I told you about the Starbucks employees who would see Mary Lou and Paddock almost every day when they came in and ordered their caramel macchiato and whatever drink he would get. The worker that was interviewed by the FBI, she said that they would wince whenever he and his girlfriend lined up for their usual beverages. And she said it happened a lot because they said that he was very demeaning to her and he would berate her because she'd always ask whether or not she can use the what's called the gamblers use their gaming cards. Do you know what that is? So it's like a credit card, but it's a gaming card that you earn points on. And he would always say, you don't need my casino card for this. I'm paying for your drink, just like I'm paying for you. That's, he would say, then she'd step back behind him. And they said that he was always very rude to her and demeaning.
Well, also we heard yesterday from the special agent in charge of the investigation, Aaron Rouse, about the leads they're following up and the approach that the FBI is taking to this investigation.
The information that the public provides us is going to help us solve this. But we must focus on facts. We cannot give in to conjecture, and we cannot respond to every little Twitter feed that may indicate a theory. We need to focus on the facts. You need us to be right. You expect us to be right, and we want to be right. There's going to be questions. I'm sure you're going to have questions about some people that we've been talking to, maybe people outside of the United States. The fundamental trust of the American people in the FBI is based upon our discretion. And how good would that discretion be if we were to provide information that they provided to us in confidence?
Yeah, and he talked about multiple leads the FBI has from all over the world, including from a man in Australia who dated the shooter's girlfriend's sister.
Oh, really?
And he was the one who talked about his interpersonal reactions with the shooter, the gun safe in the house. He provided some of those details. But the Special Agent Rouse is, of course he's right, but there are some questions that would be interesting to know, even to rule out, for example, I still go back to this Hispanic couple that was identified by eyewitnesses who said that this couple allegedly said you're going to die 45 minutes before the shooting.
Yeah, they were running in the first few rows, warning people, you're going to die, get out of here.
Yeah, it's so, I just want to know what they have to say about that, if that turned out to be specious, if that's still a lead they're pursuing, or what the status is, because perhaps other people could help. Tony on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. This is the real Tony, not that imposter you had on yesterday. I don't know who that guy was.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Southside Tonys out there. Yeah.
So, hey, listen, to dispel any rumors about a multiple shooter, one doesn't have to go as far as just looking at the video camera in the hallway of the hotel. They see two guys go in, they see two two guys go in, right? Or one guy go out before he killed himself. So, I mean, that's crazy. They'll say multiple shooters. Unless the guy was the size of Stephanopoulos, you could stuff him in a suitcase and get him in, then I could see that. But there's no way. Yeah, I mean, unless Siegfried Roy helped do some magic, got the guy in there. I don't know. That's my thought.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you for the Siegfried and Roy reference. Chris in Aurora.
All right, I, like everybody else, have been watching this very closely, and I'm doing the best that I can not to go down a rabbit hole and get into the conspiracy theories. And I can say for sure one thing, that Alex Jones doesn't really help the situation with all the stuff that he puts out there.
No.
Okay,
Rarely
well,
does.
I know this for sure. Okay, I watched this second interview that was about 33 minutes long with the brother. And I'll tell you what, I urge everybody to at least watch that interview, because that, to me, pulled a lot of things together from the brother's perspective about who Steven is and some of the loose ends of why he would send $100,000 to the Philippines, why he sent his girlfriend over there when this event happened. A lot of the pieces came back to me and went into place from hearing his perspective of who his brother was. To me, it takes away a lot of the conspiracy theories, and it makes more sense of how a person, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous, we're so used to having an excuse. We're so used to having someone say, oh, that's why, because he was politically motivated, or he had religious belief. Or this one here, I think, could be just as simple as a person just did it because they wanted to do it. And I know it's going to be hard for a lot of people to wrap their mind around, but if you listen to this interview with the brother, it kind of puts it in place where this could be possible, that this one person just wanted to do this one thing.
All right, thanks, Chris.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
And also, I mean, his profession was gambling. He would gamble, according to police, $1 million a year. That's what he did, and he paid $327,000 in cash for his home in Mesquite, Las Nevada.
Right, so that seems to preclude the kind of he was gambling debts as the motive.
Right. Sunshine today, some clouds. It's going to be pretty warm, a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight we're going to have periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Haven't heard one of those in a while. And then for Friday, periods of rain, a high of 72 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. On the inbound Stevenson, we're now seeing delays Cicero to Pulaski and State to Lakeshore Drive. 2 or 3 minutes worth of delays there. The outbound side is fine. Edens, Kennedy, all clear. The Eisenhower still good, too. Inbound Ryan, hold tight. Roosevelt to the Burn Circle, about a 2-minute delay. Roadwork outbound at 87th, 3 left lanes. I-57, Bishop Ford, both with 2 to 3 minute delays approaching the ride. It's always looked good. No delays to report in northwest Indiana. Near north side, North Avenue is open again. There was an earlier fire, North Avenue at Orleans. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series with opinion leaders and policymakers. This week we're featuring DePaul philosophy professor Jason Hill. Coming up, posted this weekend, Richard Boykin, Cook County Commissioner, talking about the sugar tax with that repeal vote set for next week. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project, podcast about Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, where you can get that free property tax report on your home. Defendhomeowners.com, upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance. But they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, Call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or automatedsys.com.
Treat yourself to a great night's sleep. I know I do every night. I look forward to going to bed to rest my head on something made in America, but something that's so awesome. You can wash it and dry it. You can form it to your neck and back to give you the best sleep ever. And for a short time, just a few more days, people, we still have the 4-pack deal. It is expiring October 9th. So I strongly urge you to go online or call now to make sure you take advantage of this great deal by using the promo code Amy. What's the deal? Well, it's 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack, 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, half off, but only for a few more days. So go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
The same banking team you already know and trust at the private bank has come together with one of the strongest banks in North America. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. We share the same focus on building strong client relationships, and we're now backed by a bank with over 150 years of experience in putting clients first. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to helping your business grow is now stronger than ever. Visit us at cibc.com/US. Member FDIC.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Trump visited shooting victims as part of his stop in Las Vegas yesterday. Here's a little bit of President Trump with some of the medical professionals at that hospital.
What I saw today is just an incredible tribute to professionalism, and what they have done is incredible. And you never want to see it again, that I can tell you. You know what it is. And the patience, the bravery, some were very, very badly wounded, and they were badly wounded because they refused to leave. They wanted to help others because they saw people going down all over. And it's an incredible thing to see. There's tremendous bravery.
President Trump was spot on yesterday, and he brought, just an air of levity to this situation. You can tell when he was with all the first responders, they were happy that he was there. When he went room to room, because I watched the video with he and Melania can brighten up any room. The people, those that were injured really appreciated that he took time to spend time with them. It was great. He was very presidential yesterday. He didn't talk about his Trump hotel, his casino, or anything. He just left it about them.
We'll have more on what the president had to say in Vegas, as well as more tales of heroism from that awful night that are emerging that we want to make sure we share as well at 5:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and check in with our very own Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 3 Army Special Operations Forces members are dead. Their patrol ambushed in the African nation of Niger. U.S. officials say 2 more soldiers were wounded. The Green Berets reported to be in stable condition, recovering from their injuries. The country is known to have a presence of both al-Qaeda and ISIS-backed insurgents. The woman who was the Las Vegas shooter's girlfriend says she had no idea he was planning a massacre. That's what Mary Lou Danley said in a statement her attorney read yesterday.
It never occurred to me in any way whatsoever that he was planning violence against anyone.
Danley also noted she went to the Philippines 2 weeks ago after shooter Stephen Paddock found a cheap plane ticket for her. The FBI weighing in on whether the Las Vegas mass shooting was connected to terror.
We have found no evidence to this point to indicate terrorism. But this is an ongoing investigation. We're going to continue to look at all avenues. We're not closing down any doors.
Special Agent in Charge Aaron Rouse. House Democrats in Washington calling for new gun control legislation after the shooting massacre in Las Vegas.
We offer our thoughts and prayers, but it's all a show until people forget. And this Congress can move on to rolling back restrictions on silence or making it easier for the mentally ill to purchase weapons.
In an event outside the Capitol, Georgia's John Lewis. This morning's launch at Cape Canaveral is scrubbed. United Launch Alliance say ground winds are preventing liftoff of an Atlas V rocket carrying a satellite for the National Reconnaissance Office. Today is the deadline for thousands of illegal immigrants brought to the U.S. as children to re-register for the DACA program. Another hurricane could be on its way to Florida. The National Hurricane Center says a tropical depression in the Caribbean will strengthen into a tropical storm before sweeping onto Nicaragua today. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle will unveil her 2018 budget today, but a potential repeal of the soda tax, she believes, would blow a hole in it. Police are searching for a man who attacked a mail carrier in west suburban Naperville, a victim recovering from injuries. State lawmakers from both parties this morning are accusing the Rauner administration of hiding details of its negotiations with the state's new private lottery manager. Democrat Lou Lang, Republican David McSweeney, saying the public deserves to know more about the new firm, Camelot, Illinois. Bulls lost to the Mavericks in the NBA preseason. Blackhawks dropped the puck on the regular season tonight, hosting the two-time defending champion Penguins. The news, a service of Staples. Staples helps your business create color presentations for less. Now get 20% back in Staples rewards on color copies, manuals, and presentations. Designed to impress. Staples, it's pro time. Offer ends 11/4/17. Exclusions apply. Go to staples.com/20color for more. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants people to get real.
I want to thank Trump for making black people #1 on the most oppressed list.
Can someone just quickly give me an answer? What has Donald Trump ever done to make you think that blacks are the most oppressed people on earth? I'm a little bit lost on that.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Todd Pals, owner of Homewood Bat Company, a top quality baseball bat made right here in the Chicagoland area. Homewood Bat Company is all about using the best in materials and craftsmanship to create a truly remarkable baseball bat. I've been a client of Precision Payroll for a number of years, and when I started the Homewood Bat Company, I wanted them on my team. From working with me when I had 1,200 employees at another company, and now with less than 50, their service has been exceptional and their value is unrivaled. You want more runs in the game? Give Homewood Bat Company a look. You need a home run for your business? Precision Payroll should be the next call you make.
Thank you, Todd. It is so cool to see you make Americana. Precision Payroll would like to go to bat for you. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com.
.535. Let's get an update on the roads and the alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens outbound at Glenview Road, crash just reported. Both shoulders blocked. Kennedy still looks good. The Eisenhower inbound, little congestion east of 25th. Stevenson inbound, delay start at Cicero. 37 minutes, 3:55 for Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 426. Delay start at 115th. Tollways are okay. There's road work on 8094 eastbound past Kennedy Avenue. The left local lane is closed till 6 this morning. Downtown, we have more closures to set up for Sunday's Chicago Marathon. Columbus is now blocked between Roosevelt and Balboa, and both Jackson and Balboa are closed. Columbus and Lakeshore Drive. Traffic, the service of CiCi's. Want to taste sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings in your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic, parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We'll have some sunshine this morning that will give way to afternoon clouds, maybe some rain, high 75. Mild overnight, periods of rain, maybe a thunderstorm, low of 60, and a high of 72 tomorrow. Currently 57 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. on AM 560. Explore the wonderful world of wine with hosts James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so President Trump stopping in Las Vegas yesterday to meet with officials, law enforcement, investigators, victims from Sunday night, Monday morning. And he had this to say, offering his thanks to law enforcement and first responders.
The people of Nevada and the extraordinary city have shown the world their incredible character, courage, and resolve. Nevada really is a very, very special place. I'm honored to be here today at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in the company of heroes. Thank you to our police, our firefighters, and to our first responders, and of course to Sheriff Lombardo. Incredible job you've done.
There's a nice moment.
And on behalf of the grateful nation, Melania and I thank each and every one of you in law enforcement. In the depths of horror, we will always find hope in the men and women who risk their lives for ours.
And then he offered prayers for those that were injured, have been injured, or are recovering.
I visited the hospital earlier today, where many victims are still recovering from their wounds. And we ask God to ease their suffering and to speed their healing. We pray for the recovery of the injured and those injured officers who so bravely threw themselves into danger when duty called.
And
then he threw paper towels out to the crowd.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
Yeah, I think he learned his lesson from that very bad visual.
Speaking of those acts of bravery that he was referring to generally, I just want to continue. We've been doing this all week, reporting on stories of heroism, both civilians as well as the professional law enforcement and first responders. But I think they're just encouraging stories that say something good about humanity, too, and we want to tell these stories. So another one, and I know you've got some too, Amy, but Jesus Campos, he was a security guard at Mandalay Bay, unarmed. He found Paddock and approached his room on the 32nd floor on Sunday night. And this is interesting, too. I didn't know this, that Paddock apparently had somehow blocked the stairwell doors leading to the hallway outside of his room.
Really?
So that, also provided him more bandwidth to see who was coming so he couldn't get surprised. So anyway, the door to the room itself was also barricaded. So the cameras that he had rigged in the hallway and through the people on his door, he saw Campos. He fired through the door, hitting Campos in the leg. Campos, though, was able to radio casino dispatch, told him his location and Paddock's, which helped other law enforcement locate Paddock more quickly than they would have otherwise.
He was unarmed.
So Jesus Campos.
And they found 200 rounds of spent shells in that hallway, just that hallway alone. So that after Campos was shot, then SWAT team came forward because they knew that they needed the SWAT team. And they actually had some type of a shootout in the hallway. I mean, that's crazy.
And remember, you're talking about 9 to 11 minutes of opening fire, but it took, I guess the latest that I saw, it took 73 minutes for them ultimately to get to the point where they breached the door and, of course, found him dead on the floor. One more act of heroism. This is civilians. It's kind of one of these stories of friends together, boyfriend, girlfriend. In this case, boyfriend, girlfriend. Christina Kit Kat.
Oh, what?
Oh,
no, she's alive, right?
Yeah, she's alive.
Well, then I can meow.
You didn't know she was alive.
Sorry, Kit Kat.
No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Okay.
Christina Kit Kat. It's her name. I don't know.
It's a great name.
Her boyfriend, Kelly Culbertson, he's a firefighter and EMT. She's 29. He's 27. She thought she heard fireworks, but then she saw people fleeing. She didn't know she had been shot. And then she said to her boyfriend, the firefighter, EMT, "It's hard for me to breathe."
She would later learn that she was shot, and the bullet had gone through her arm and into her heart.
Ooh.
So then Culbertson, the trained professional, understands what's happening.
Right.
He starts to render aid. Then he gets his girlfriend into the cab of a vehicle where the driver and his girlfriend were collecting other victims, and other people that were helping other victims, including helping Culbertson and Kit Kat. They all get transported to Desert Springs Hospital. He is applying pressure to her bullet wound on the way there, putting on an oxygen mask when they get to the hospital, providing details for the emergency room physicians. Doctors told Kit Kat's family it's a miracle she's alive. Bullet blew through her arm into her heart and lungs. Shrapnel left 4 holes in her heart and holes in her lungs.
How is she still alive?
But yeah,
Wow.
but because of the quick response of her boyfriend, firefighter EMT, and then the heroism of other people that were unnamed that were driving a car and picking up victims to go to the hospital, she survives.
Wow. Another hero, Jonathan Smith, we told you about him, African-American male, 30 years old, from California, was there with his family and friends, and they got out of harm's way, but for some reason he ran back, and it's just amazing because he still doesn't know why he ran back.
I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. From the moment that I got my brother and my 3 nieces across the street from Giles, I don't know what made me turn back around. Maybe it was the screams. I don't know. But there were a lot of people still running out. A few of them fell down. I still remember it vivid. I tried not to, honestly. But I really can't explain why or what made me turn around. I just felt, you know what, if I could help one person or multiple people, at least that's someone's life that was spared.
And he's credited for saving 30 lives because a bunch of people hunkered down in the middle of the field and they were just sitting ducks. So he got them out and the gunman started shooting. He got a bullet wound to the neck, and this police officer, an off-duty police officer from San Diego, Tom McGrath, actually helped save his life. And Aaron Burnett got the officer who saved his life on the show and surprised Jonathan Smith.
I don't even know what to say.
He was crying.
I talked to him the other day. He did call me. Honestly, I mean, I owe that man my life because from the moment I got hit, he was the first one to actually help me stop the bleeding. He never left my side at all. And I remember helping me get in the back of a pickup truck, a red pickup truck with another young lady that had a gunshot wound. And I kept telling him, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And he kept saying, you're not going to die. I got you. Look at me. You're not going to die. He even said it as they took me out and put me onto the concrete in front of a patrol car, that I wasn't going to die. We even talked about the moment where he actually put his finger inside the wound just to stop it.
I was bawling when I was watching. And Jonathan Smith, he said, I'm not a hero, please. And he could not. He was so overcome with emotion. He was just crying during this whole entire interview.
Yeah, it's almost, I think we need to come up with like a civilian Medal of Honor designation for the kind of heroism that we're talking about. I mean, talking about this gentleman saving 30 lives and these people driving around in what was basically a war zone, picking people up, picking up the injured to get them to a hospital or to get them to a triage area.
Cab drivers were flagged down. One cab driver put a guy in the trunk and left the lid up and took him to a hospital.
No,
I mean, everybody in Las Vegas helped.
It's great.
I loved it.
Text from 847 about Kit Kat.
Oh, boy.
Kit Kat had 9 lives.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Oh, no.
That's actually the name of my cat is Kit Kat. My cat, who was the mother of Crazy, is Kit Kat.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a popular name.
It is.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up later, was he flirting or was he being demeaning Cam Newton and his routes? They're so cute, those routes. I love routes in football.
He's funny.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds, a high of 75 degrees. Tonight, a thunder boomer around here. And then tomorrow, Friday, periods of rain, a high of 72 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Inbound Eisenhower traffic is now slow from Wolf to 25th Avenue. It's about 31 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound Fond at 29. Edens to Kennedy looking good. Stevenson inbound delay start at Harlem. 39 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 426. Eastbound 80-94 past Kennedy Avenue. There's roadwork in the left local lane. Downtown, we have additional marathon closures. Columbus is now blocked off. Roosevelt, Balbo, and both Balbo and Jackson are closed. Columbus and Lakeshore Drive. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Gents, it's time to talk low T. Yep, when it comes to your health and your quality of life and your energy levels, knowing your testosterone number is essential. You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers, but do you know your testosterone number? You should. I know my numbers. My friend at Low T Center made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. How easy is that? Very. So to all my listeners, if you've noticed a decline in energy, motivation, or even mood, you may have low testosterone. Get it checked out. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. At Low T Center, treatment is covered by most health insurance. They will even verify insurance for you. When it comes to your health and daily quality of life, do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself to call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number again, 312-239-3427. Call now, 312-239-3427, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com for more information. The website, lowtcenter.com.
From Struck Films.
Where did you come from?
The true story of a stray dog.
Who are you? That's Pluto.
Who saves a struggling family in more ways than one.
What's wrong? This isn't working anymore.
Sometimes help comes from the most unlikely places.
I don't need you. He's trying. He really is.
Sometimes one dog can change everything.
You're awfully small on me, boy.
From the director of The Other Side of Heaven, The Stray. Rated PG. For theater locations and more information, visit thestray.movie. In theaters Friday.
After your choice of spouse, where you send your kids to school is the most important decision you make. So I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School, an independent Catholic school for boys, grades 6 through 12. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models, deep intellects who get to the heart of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs, and are ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois and a top 100 high school in America, according to U.S. News. Did it against the current taping with the headmaster, Neil Fagan, and the athletic director, Will Ray, that will post this weekend as well, so you want to check that out in advance of Northridge Prep's open house, which is October 22nd. To learn more about Northridge Prep's open house on October 22nd, visit northridgeprep.org. Again, the website, northridgeprep.org.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Illinois deserves an honest analysis of the problems facing our state. Avoid the spin from the mainstream media and Springfield insiders by tuning in to Illinois Rising every Sunday at 3 p.m. AM 560's Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute tackle the policy and political issues that matter most and discuss possible solutions. So if you're sick of the status quo, then be sure to listen to Illinois Rising this Sunday at 3 p.m. on AM 560. The Answer.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just dial **zip, and when prompted, say TALK. For your free trial, dial *947, keyword TALK.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kurt Penn, founder and CEO of Good Foods. In 2007, I was shopping in a natural foods grocery store and had a vision for a company that would produce fresh, all-natural foods with a social conscience. Signature Bank helped turn that vision into what now is Good Foods. Signature Bank President Mick O'Rourke listened to our story and learned about our business. Mick has been with us every step of the way. Signature Bank takes care of the details so we can focus on producing good foods. Signature Bank is deeply invested in our success. Good Foods is very proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The founder of Black Lives Matter said white racist hate speech is not free speech.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Again, somebody stupid on the left, not understanding our Constitution, not understanding the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Things are looking good on the Edens right now. It's 19 minutes either way between Lakehook and Montrose. Inbound Kennedy, a little heavy out of the River Road Tool to Canfield. 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, it's 21 minutes. It's tight from Bryn Mawr to Sayre. Got Eisenhower delays. Wolf to Harlem. Racine to the Burn Circle. 36 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound fine at 29 for now. Stevenson. They start inbound at First Avenue, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound okay. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 21 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State heavy approaching the Eisenhower. Eastbound Adams Tollway stop and go from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. CTA has blue line delays near Chicago Avenue. There's a door problem on a train. Traffic on this Thursday, October 5th, is a service of Geico Insurance. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance when shopping for car insurance. Consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. If you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Let's get the update with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds increase throughout the day today with a high 75. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm tonight, low 60. Then periods of rain tomorrow, high 71. Occasional rain and a thunderstorm tomorrow night with a low 64. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 58 at O'Hare. The news, a service of LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities, and you need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity theft protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com, promo code RISK for 10% off. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560. The Answer. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle unveils her 2018 budget plan today. Police are searching for a man who attacked a mail carrier in Naperville. Chicago alderman calls on Mayor Emanuel to raise fees on ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft to bail out struggling taxi companies. One of the Democrats running for Illinois governor says it's dangerous to legalize marijuana. New autopsy and toxicology results show impairment and health problems were not a factor in a plane crash that killed an Illinois activist last December. Bulls fell apart in the NBA preseason, losing to the Mavericks in Dallas, while the Blackhawks dropped the puck on the regular season tonight. More Dan and Amy after Fox, WIND, Chicago News Time, 6.
There's still no answer why. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We cannot give in to conjecture, and we cannot respond to every little Twitter feed that may indicate a theory.
That's FBI Special Agent in Charge Aaron Rouse still trying to figure out Stephen Paddock's motive for Sunday's shooting spree. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal live in Las Vegas.
Dave, Las Vegas Sheriff Joseph Lombardo says suspect Stephen Paddock set up cameras inside and just outside of his hotel room. They weren't recording, but
because of his countermeasures placed in the peephole in the hallway, he observed the security guard, and he was in fear that he was about to be breached. So he was doing everything possible to figure out how he could escape at that point.
He says they found the explosive tannerite in his car along with ammonium nitrate and 1,600 rounds of bullets and wonder how he did all of this without any accomplices. His girlfriend was questioned by law enforcement in L.A. Wednesday after she arrived back from the Philippines, and in a statement read by her attorney, she says she had no knowledge he was planning this, Dave.
Jessica, 58 people were killed. The number of people injured revised down to 489. President Trump met with some of them at their bedsides yesterday, surprising this survivor.
He was super nice. He wasn't who we see on social media. He was much more comforting.
The president also praised doctors, nurses, and police. Democrats want stricter gun laws.
Take action to prevent this from happening yet again.
Senator Dianne Feinstein. Some Republicans indicate they may support a ban on so-called bump stocks, devices Paddock used to turn semi-automatic rifles automatic. But GOP Congressman Steve Russell says,
we can talk about going after implements and tools, but really we're approaching it all wrong.
3 Army Green Berets are dead, 2 more wounded and being attacked in Africa.
The squad of 8 to 10 American Special Forces soldiers were accompanying local forces, and they were ambushed late yesterday afternoon, 120 miles north of Niger's capital.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon says it's not clear if they're all accounted for. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer, your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Trying to make sense of what happened in Las Vegas and why it happened, the motive of the shooter. There's a lot of politicization of what happened. Of course, the left is trotting out their usual gun control tropes.
Yeah.
That's one flank. The second flank it's now opened up, and it's more reflective of the time. The responsibility, the problem.
Yeah.
White rage. White rage is to blame for the Vegas shooting. It's white male rage, and frankly, the existence of white men, that is the problem. That is the proximate cause of the Las Vegas shooting.
You going to take yourself out, Dan?
Well, look, I'm just going by, and it's not like, this is a kind of a one-off. I'll get to the First Lady, the former First Lady, in a moment. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. Sean King, yeah.
Who's really white.
No, it's certainly in controversy. Sean, but he's a Black Lives Matter.
Right, but he's
founder or whatever.
Faking his blackness.
Well, that's in controversy, yeah. That's been the source of a lot of controversy.
I'm really white, by the way.
He writes in The Intercept,
yes,
white privilege of the lone wolf shooter. No expensive wall along the Mexican border would have prevented this. No Muslim ban stopping immigrants and refugees from a few randomly selected countries from reaching our shores would have slowed this down. Paddock, like the majority of mass shooters in this country, was a white American, and that simple fact changes absolutely everything about the way this horrible moment gets discussed in the media and the national discourse. Whiteness protects men from being labeled terrorists. You agree with that? The privilege here is that the ultimate conclusion about shootings committed by people from commonly non-white groups often leads to determinations about the corrosive or destructive nature of the group itself. When an individual claiming to be Muslim commits a horrible act, many on the right will tell us Islam is the problem. So he doesn't like that, but he adopts that approach, which he criticizes, saying, privilege always stands in contrast to how others are treated, and this is true in this case, too. White men who resort to mass violence are consistently characterized primarily as isolated lone wolves, in no way connected to one another. While most of the problematic aspects of being white in America are given a pass that nobody else receives, he's being afforded outrageous protections in the media, is the Vegas shooter. In point of fact, he is a member of a terrorist organization, which is what Sean King is implying, called white men in America.
Oh, well, Sean King is way off base on that assumption. First of all, we don't know.
Nobody does parody, unintentional parody like Sean King.
He's not part of it. White men are not terrorists. There are some bad white men out there, just as there are some bad black men out there. But that's just a stretch to write an article. And if he thinks that the mainstream media or the people in general aren't probing into his past and maybe his voting records and his religious beliefs because of the color of his skin, then again, he's off base.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an anomaly. This is the strangest, I think. I mean, it's an anomaly because it's the biggest massacre we've had in the United States in modern history, but also because there's no note left behind. There's nothing on his computer so far. There's nothing to give us a reason as to why he planned this. And it sounds like he's been planning it for a long time.
Naz Modan, who's a content editor for Muslim Girl, publication focused on Muslim women's issues and empowerment. How's that going in the Muslim world? She has a piece, CNN.com, how America has silently accepted the rage of white men. This is just understand this is absolutely a tactic of the left. This is going to be white male rage combined with gun control. Those are the two things that we want to discuss because we want to take away your guns. That's what we've always wanted to do. And we want to play identity politics because that's the only thing we know how to do. This is a white man's problem, Miss Modan writes. She cites that between 82 and 2012, 62 cases, in the 62 cases of mass shootings, 44 of the killers were white men. Only one was a woman. Mm-hmm. And here we go again. The lone wolf shooter, straw man, then respond to the straw man. That's what Sean King did. What does Miss Modan say? In the United States, these crimes committed by white men are often who are often labeled lone wolves or psychologically impaired. As a result, the government that would otherwise be mobilizing the institutions to bring about reform remains a stalwart of the Second Amendment and mass shootings' greatest ally. An over-affinity for guns among white men, dangerous against any other backdrop, gets defended as patriotism by many conservatives or even as white pride by those on the alt-right. Are you concerned about an over-affinity for guns among white men? Do you think their white male rage is an endemic condition in America that needs to be addressed? Do you think white men are connected to the Las Vegas shooter? You think this is a joke, right? I mean, I'm sure people listening think, oh, this is absurd and I'm being hyperbolic. Am I? Michelle Obama at the Pennsylvania Conference of Women Tuesday. Why she thinks diversity is so important. At the State of the Union address, said the First Lady, when you are in the room, what you can see is a real dichotomy. It's a feeling of color almost. On one side of the room is literally gray and white. Literally, that is the color palette on one side of the room. On the other side of the room, there are yellows and blues and whites and greens. There are blue people in Congress. Physically, there's a difference in color, in the tone, because on one side, all men, all white. On the other side, some women, some people of color. I look at that and I go, no wonder we struggle. No wonder people don't trust politics. We're not even noticing what these rooms look like. So white men also make people distrust politics. What are we going to do about the white male problem in this country? The rage.
You should all eradicate yourselves.
The lack of a diverse color palette. Should we self-deport?
Yes. Self-deportation is a wonderful thing.
What about internment camps? How should we deal with the problem
your bad selves?
of white male rage and the existence of white men? I mean, okay, these are the agit-prop promulgators of the left, Sean King and this, I don't know who this woman, Naz Modan, never heard of her before, but whatever. CNN is amplifying her message. But the former First Lady is saying a version of that as well. This is, the contortions you need to do to force identity politics into something like the Vegas shooting, just as the contortions you need to do to force gun control and the NRA's responsibility and into the Vegas shooting, which the left is doing, whether it's late night dingbats who have talk shows, or it's failed presidential candidates, or it's current members of Congress. And so you want us to get to a happy place where we're going to talk thoughtfully about solutions to the extent they're available. We're going to separate facts from conjecture and from political posturing. Kind of difficult with these theories being actively and in a coordinated fashion advanced and then given legitimacy by the former First Lady of the United States.
And then even you have that, deli owner in Highland Park who fired off a tweet. Soon as I heard it was country music, I felt relief. White people shooting white people isn't terror. It's community outreach.
Yeah, the celebration of white people being murdered, too. That's a part of it.
Well, he has since apologized. He said that he shot that off at 7 a.m. Monday from his personal Twitter account and said, as a white guy, I was relieved that it wasn't across race lines or religious lines.
Yeah.
From outside the country, blah, blah, blah. When I heard the news, I said, please, God, don't let it be.
Do they serve crow on the menu at Max's Deli?
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, who's telling the truth? Rexon or NBC? 312-642-5600. Did he really call President Trump a moron, too? But first, here's your forecast. Sunshine today, giving way to clouds, a high of 75 degrees. Tonight, some thunderstorms through here. And on Friday, we're going to have some rain, a high of 72. And on Saturday, mostly cloudy, breezy, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, a high of 77. And on Sunday for the Chicago Marathon, it's going to be warm, of course. It always ends up being warm. Brilliant sunshine, a high of 77 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. We're going to have a busy few days here in Chicago with the marathon and the Bears game on Monday night and the playoff game. Right, Jim?
That is right, Amy. Good morning. And don't forget in Highwood, the Great Pumpkin Festival this weekend. Sheridan Road is blocked in Highwood, between Clay and Temple. Meanwhile, downtown for that marathon, we have additional closures now. Columbus is closed. I think Roosevelt and Balbo. And Jackson joins Balbo being closed. Columbus and Lakeshore Drive, of course, there will be many closures early Sunday. Eastbound Adams Tollway is jammed from the Tri-State out of the Kennedy. Those delays continue on the Kennedy to around Canfield. Travel time is 25 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Eden's 20 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 19. The Eisenhower, Thorndale to the post office. You get 43 minutes, outbound 33. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 23 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
And also, we have some breaking news about the Las Vegas shooter and how he booked a hotel room in Chicago during Lollapalooza. But right now, we want to tell you about Pro Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to do what I did and call David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pro Mortgage. Mark and Rachel contacted David to refinance the commercial loan they secured against their Buffalo Grove home to finance their business after their current lender decided declined their loan at the last minute. Well, one of David's 15 mortgage professionals, J.P. Marzano, used the same exact information Mark and Rachel's bank used to decline their loan to refinance Mark and Rachel's home before their commercial loan ballooned. Let's review. Mark and Rachel's bank declined their loan, and David's team saved them over $1,800 a month. So if you're securing a mortgage and you want to work with the best in the business and one of Team Hochberg's members at Pro Mortgage, then you need to call him now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David helped me and thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, and equal housing lender. Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 NMLS 19186.
Check out the Glock event this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. All the latest Glock firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday and only at Point Blank. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of firearms and ammo, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Glock event is this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Check out shootpointblank.com for all the Glock info. Some restrictions may apply. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop provides a clean and safe indoor shooting range and retail store. At Point Blank, associates focus on customer needs, whether they're an expert or new to shooting. That's the reason so many people are talking about their Point Blank experience.
Brett was very friendly, and he answered all my questions. And because I'm new to pistols, I'm really grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Experience the difference. Shootpointblank.com for more information.
AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Well, we have a bit of breaking news in regards to Stephen Paddock. Apparently, according to TMZ, he had possibly his sights set on Lollapalooza in Chicago. He booked 2 rooms at the Blackstone Hotel in Chicago, located across the street from the venue. He requested rooms with a view that overlooked the main stage. He booked 1 room from August 1st, 2 days before the August 3rd kickoff, and then booked a second room for an August 3rd arrival, and both with a date of an August 6th checkout. That's when Lollapalooza ended. He never showed up, though, he booked the rooms, but never showed up, and they've confirmed that that's the same person, Stephen Paddock. So thank goodness. A lot of people that you and I both know were at that concert, the 3-day festival. So
yeah, and it speaks to that he was plotting something on the order of what he committed for a long time, as law enforcement suggested yesterday. Want to get to another item here. This the D.C. Press Corps' desire to push this narrative that senior national security and foreign policy team members, cabinet secretaries, are looking to bail on President Trump. It started with Mad Dog Mattis, Secretary of Defense, and this week playing up the idea that he supports the U.S. staying in the Iran nuke deal. Oh, he's turned on the president. That was the story. Mattis turned on the president this week. Here's the problem.
Yes.
General Mattis, during his confirmation hearing in January, said he supported America remaining in the Iran nuclear deal. So I'm sorry. What's the news?
You can't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Right. So there's
what are you doing over there, Dan?
So there's a disagreement. So I have tremendous respect for Secretary Mattis, but there's disagreement among intelligent, patriotic Americans on this issue. I think he's wrong on this. The president thinks he's wrong on this. But this is not news because he testified to that fact 10 months ago. And the reason this is no longer isolated, and I bring it up, is because of the story out about Rexon.
Yeah, NBC News had a bombshell exclusive. I don't know if it was, my phone was buzzing because I get news alerts from NBC. And they were claiming that Tillerson at one point in time considered quitting, that Vice President Pence talked him out of it. And guess what? He apparently called President Trump a moron.
Yeah, well, here's what Rexon said at his presser yesterday to address this news report.
To address a few specifics that have been erroneously reported this morning. The Vice President has never had to persuade me to remain as Secretary of State because I have never considered leaving this post.
That's pretty definitive. He also had plaudits for President Trump and the foreign policy accomplishments of this administration thus far.
There were some news reports this morning that I want to address. First, my commitment to the success of our president and our country is as strong as it was the day I accepted his offer to serve as Secretary of State. President Trump's America First agenda has given voice to millions who felt completely abandoned by the political status quo and who felt their interests came second to those of other countries. President Trump's foreign policy goals break the mold of what people traditionally think is achievable on behalf of our country. We're finding new ways to govern that deliver new victories. Our job is now to achieve results on behalf of America, and we are doing that.
Yeah, but the main question, we don't like name calling, Dan, and apparently NBC News had it from two sources that he called President Trump a moron.
Can you address the main headline of this story that you called the president a moron? And if not, where do you think these reports or
I'm not going to deal with petty stuff like that. I mean, this is what I don't understand about Washington. Again, I'm not from this place, but the places I come from, we don't deal with that kind of petty nonsense. And it is intended to do nothing but divide people. And I'm just not going to be part of this effort to divide this administration.
Yeah, and he, in his initial statement before he took questions, he was very complimentary of President Trump in terms of his intelligence, his engagement on the issue, his kind of analytical approach to the decision making.
But CNN this morning claimed that answer that he gave is an admission of guilt, that he called the president a moron. And I processed that completely different than they did. Well, President Trump, this is the highlight from his trip to Las Vegas yesterday. None of the mainstream media played President Trump graciously meeting the wounded and talking to first responders and him being presidential. All they focused on was this.
It was a totally phony story. Thank you very much. It was made up. It was made up by NBC. Total confidence in Rex. I have total confidence.
Yeah.
So first Mattis, a non-news story. Now Tillerson, a non-news story. The back and forth over name calling, really? I mean, could the D.C. press corps be any more venal? Could they be any more small-minded? Those are rhetorical questions. They don't have to answer.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I love it. I see a tremendous difference in my skin, in my nails, in my hair, in my energy. Unlike the people that I hear on the radio, I've had vitamins before, but this makes a much bigger difference than vitamins ever did. That's for sure.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Chicago.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Are you looking for a way to create the life you really deserve? Hi, I'm Dean Cain, actor, director, and real estate investor, and I have to tell you about this amazing opportunity you just can't afford to miss. The National Real Estate Network is offering a free DVD called My Network is My Net Worth, where you can see for yourself the house flipping system that has taken the nation by storm. Who would have thought creating a network of thousands of investors working together to find, fund, buy, or sell properties for profit was so simple? So if you're ready to start making money flipping houses, call now to get your free DVD.
Call 1-800-437-1471 now for your free DVD and learn how to get started making thousands of dollars flipping houses. Call 800-437-1471 immediately, and you'll also get free tickets to a live training event where you'll receive a free meal and a gift package worth hundreds of dollars just for attending. Call 800-437-1471. That's 800-437-1471. And get your free DVD today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so Cam Newton, the standout quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
He had a little presser yesterday. Took some questions from the sports press corps. And one question, I guess the way it was phrased, and who was phrasing, I mean, it just kind of left him in stitches. He's so cute.
I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. It's funny. But fun is coming along, man. We're gonna. This is a big game for him.
How is she funny? Like a clown?
Well, Jordan Rodriguez is the reporter from the Charlotte Observer, sports reporter. He's expressed regret this morning for his response to a question from her. But I thought he was trying to be flirty. I didn't think he was trying to be demeaning. I thought he was, trying to be cutesy, funny.
Free speech.
I'm sorry.
Free speech.
What did you say?
Free speech.
Well,
it doesn't matter. We can't make moral judgments on this. Free speech.
Everyone
free speech.
says
Free speech.
Sexist comments and
free
they're
speech.
shocked.
Free speech. Free speech. He's an NFL player. We don't make moral judgments on what NFL players do, how they express themselves. We just say free speech. Isn't that right? That's what I took away from the position on the anthem and the flag. Free speech. Free speech. Free speech. That's the argument.
Well, there's a little bit of controversy this morning because, according to the Carolina Panther spokesperson, they claim that Cam Newton talked to her after the news conference ended and expressed regret. However, she's saying that no, and he did not apologize. And she was dismayed by his response, which not only belittled her, but countless other women before me and besides me who work in similar jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I sought Mr. Newton out as he left the locker room a few minutes later. And he did not apologize for his comments.
It's fascinating.
Yes, it is fascinating.
Riveting.
Do you think he'll be suspended?
Free speech. I can't think. All I can do is repeat those two words. By the way, the numbers are in for Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah. How'd they do on
Down
Monday?
13% week over week.
Oh, and the Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated, and that was really?
Yeah. Also reports about NFL owners privately wrangling over how to handle the anthem and their bedwetting multimillionaire athletes who most of them are afraid of.
Well, Fox Sports isn't going to show it anymore. ESPN wasn't going to show it. Now they are going to show it because of the Vegas shooting. So they can't. They're just a hot mess over there. They can't make any solid decisions for themselves.
To that, I just say simply.
Yes. Free speech.
That's right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, about the Rexon Mattis matters, as well as geopolitical concerns at 6:36.
And Senator Bob Corker just told the world what he really thinks of President Donald Trump. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
58 degrees. 3 American soldiers are dead after an ambush on patrol in the African nation of Niger. U.S. officials say 2 more soldiers were wounded, Green Berets, reported in stable condition. The FBI says right now there's no evidence of terrorism in the Las Vegas mass shooting. FBI Special Agent Aaron Rouse.
We have found no evidence to this point to indicate terrorism, but this is an ongoing investigation. We're going to continue to look at all avenues. We're not closing down any doors.
The Las Vegas shooter's girlfriend says she did not know he was planning a massacre. An attorney for Mary Lou Danley read a statement yesterday in Los Angeles.
I was grateful, but honestly, I was worried that first, the unexpected trip home, and then the money was a way of breaking up with me.
President Trump says America will overcome Sunday night's shooting massacre in Las Vegas.
We cannot be defined by the evil that threatens us or the violence that incites such terror.
The president praising police, paramedics, and civilian heroes who rushed to help victims of the shooting at that outdoor concert. The Mississippi coast could be slammed by a hurricane this weekend. Tropical depression in the Caribbean could become Tropical Storm Nate later today. A Michigan woman is serving a 7-day jail sentence for not following through on a court order to have her 9-year-old son vaccinated. Rebecca Bredow asked for mercy before Judge Karen McDonald yesterday.
I stand here today scared and vulnerable, begging the court to understand that I'm not a lazy parent. I'm a passionate mother who cares deeply about my children, their health, and their well-being.
However, the judge disagreed, saying the boy's father gets a say and he wants the youngster to be up to date on vaccinations. Last November, Bredow signed an agreement to get that child current on vaccinations, but never did it. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle will unveil her 2018 budget later today. Police are searching for a man who attacked a mail carrier in Naperville. The victim suffered minor injuries. Chicago alderman trying to protect the taxi industry is now calling on Mayor Emanuel to raise fees on ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft. New autopsy and toxicology results show impairment and health problems were not factors in a plane crash that killed an Illinois activist, Rob Sherman, last December. The nominations are in for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2018 class. Let's see if you agree. Bon Jovi, Judas Priest, Dire Straits, LL Cool J, Jay Giles Band, Cars, Moody Blues, Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine, Nina Simone, and Depeche Mode. Bulls fell to the Mavericks in the NBA preseason. Blackhawks dropped the puck on the regular NHL season tonight, hosting Pittsburgh. The news, a service of Accountemps. Unplanned absences happen at every company, even when payroll is due. When your company or payroll or accounting team is short-staffed, call Accountemps. They provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains how the media works.
This is what happens in the media. This is so important to understand. Something is reported, and if the media pick it up, then they amplify it. And after they amplify it, everybody believes it. So they really are an echo chamber. They say X, everybody believes X, and then they report X as if it is a given.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The private bank is now CIBC. Their name may have changed, but their commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to begin? Do you fear your job is in jeopardy, or is your business income reduction keeping you awake at night? We're in the best time in 25 years to make a fortune in real estate without using your money or credit. My name is Ron LeGrand, and I've taught 500,000 people to do just that and personally bought hundreds of houses myself. If you'll call 800-865-3959, I'll send the first 500 callers my hot new CD, Foreclosure Fortunes, and my best-selling book to help you get started absolutely free. I'll show you how to build a six-figure income part-time with no previous experience and no license, even if you're a busy professional. Call 800-865-3959, 24 hours, and get my new book and CD free. That's 800-865-3959. Take your life back and make this your best year ever. That's 800-865-3959. Call 800-865-3959 now.
6:35. Let's get an update on your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound 394. Traffic's heavy approaching Glenwood Dyer Road. Got a crash blocking the left lane. On the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway, delays start at 111th Street. It's 32 minutes from 8094 to the Ryan. I-57, 24 minutes from I-80 to the Merge. And the Ryan runs 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Edens, 27 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 21. Slow on the eastbound spur from Waukegan Road to the Edens. Kennedy, after some debris at Division, just cleared out of the way. It's 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 11 in the Express. Outbound 46 to the airport. Eisenhower's 49 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, southbound 40. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Northbound Tri-State slows Southwest Highway, the 83rd Street toll, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic, service of Audible.com. Audible turns traffic into an escape. Mystery, sci-fi, bestsellers, and motivation. Ride with Audible and transform your commute with an unbeatable selection of audiobooks. Start a 30-day trial, and your first one is free. Go to Audible.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunshine gives way to clouds in the afternoon, high 75. Mild periods of rain and a thunderstorm overnight, a low of 60. Currently 58. Next news coming up at 7 with continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
Some call me the sage from South Central. Others call me the czar of common sense. But you can call me Larry Elder. And you're invited to join me tonight, starting at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, we were just talking about the attempts by the D.C. press corps to gin up dissension in the ranks of Trump's senior national security personnel, as Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, and Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis earlier this week with a bombshell that Mattis supports America staying in the Iran nuclear deal, a bombshell that actually General Mattis delivered when he was confirmed as Secretary of Defense 10 months ago, so not news. But for more on these topics and other concerns, including North Korea, I know we've got our focus on Las Vegas, but of course our national security folks need to have their focus on threats domestic and foreign. We're pleased to be joined again by our friend John Bolton, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Ambassador Bolton, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Well, glad to be with you this morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, first, I just want to get your take. Tillerson had felt the need to make a press statement yesterday about this report that he had contemplated leaving, and he'd used the vice president as sort of a cutout, and he had said disparaging things about Trump, all of which he denied, and he went beyond denial to kind of tout the foreign policy positions and accomplishments of the administration to this point and suggest that he is no less committed today than he was the first day that he took the reins as Secretary of State, and then the Mattis piece that I just mentioned. How did you interpret those stories?
Well, to me, the most interesting thing about the NBC story was the timing of it. I mean, the story itself says that Tillerson made the supposed comment about Trump during the summer in July, I think. So here it is, early October, and it took them this long either to get it or to decide to print it, purely by coincidence on the very day when the president's going to Las Vegas to be with the families of the victims of the tragedy out there, and leading to the Tillerson press event, which, of course, distracted from coverage of Trump's trip to Las Vegas, and I think the legitimate national interest in getting to the bottom of how that tragedy happened and what, if anything, we can do about it. So the media couldn't have waited one more day. Was somebody about to scoop them on that story or what? So a lot of this just goes into what the agenda is and of the mainstream media, and I think this is another example of it.
Well, what do you think about Senator Bob Corker? I mean, he basically told the world what he really thinks of Donald Trump, saying that there would be chaos if Mattis, Kelly, and Tillerson weren't around.
Yeah,
but we actually heard those words come from his mouth, so that's what I heard yesterday.
Yeah, no, that's pretty clear. Like a lot of us who interviewed for the job of Secretary of State, and Senator Corker was one of them. Mm-hmm. It's hard to believe that that's what he really thinks when he was so interested in the job during the transition. And I think if he's right, and some would dispute whether he is, you have to ask yourself, well, what kind of democracy do we have? You can agree or disagree with the president, but the notion that somehow his advisors are there to keep them in check, and that's their function. Not let the only nationally elected figure, along with the vice president, of course, but the nationally elected figure get his policies implemented. Is that really what you want? You want the security services, as they call them in Moscow, the siloviki, the men of power. You want them running the government? Is that really what Senator Corker wants? It's hard to believe that's what he really meant, although that's what he said.
I want to get your take on the ISIS propaganda video that was released claiming responsibility for the Las Vegas shooting. It's been discarded by law enforcement. They've said there's no evidence that this is connected to terrorism of any sort. I mean, other than just the fact that it was an act of domestic terrorism. But no, radical Islamic terrorist organization that we're at war with, of course, is what they mean. And Graham Wood wrote in The Atlantic that made the point that ISIS has claimed credit for things for terrorist acts that they were not responsible for previously, so it wouldn't necessarily be the first time they've done this, but he also wanted to exercise restraint in terms of a determination in the immediate aftermath of what happened on Sunday night into Monday morning. And just what if you believe that it's possible that ISIS could have had any role in this, or this would be related to radical Islamic terror, and if not, what it means that ISIS did attempt to take credit for something that is unrelated to their jihad.
Yeah, well, at least as of now, I'm not aware of any publicly available information that shows a link to ISIS or any international terrorist group. But I have to say, I was disturbed to hear the FBI within 12 hours of the shooting. I mean, I woke up, I suppose, like many people on Monday morning to first learn of the tragedy when I turned on the computer and saw what was coming up. But the FBI, within, I believe, 12 hours of the outbreak of the killing, had announced they had no evidence there was any connection to international terrorism. Now, I'm willing to believe that statement is true, but the impression it was designed to give, I think, was this is not a radical Islamic terrorist incident. And again, it may turn out not to be, but from all we can tell, it's not. But I don't think it's the role of the FBI to comment publicly on investigations of any kind until the investigation is concluded. The press may not like that, and some people may not like that. I want an FBI that does its job and stays out of politics. I don't like James Comey commenting on Hillary Clinton when it advantaged Hillary Clinton, when it disadvantaged Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. I don't think Comey should have been out in public, and I don't think they should have been out in public declaring a negative before they've even had time to really do a full-scale job of investigating.
Well, and to your,
I think,
to your point, the special agent in charge, Adam Rouse, said, a lot of these leads will go nowhere, but we have to follow them. That's going to take some time. Talking about our discretion in providing information that's provided to us in confidence and so on and so forth. Basically saying we're not going to tell you everything we know, of course, and certainly not on the timeline that you wanted. We're going to be exhaustive and there'll be some dead ends, and hopefully there'll be some fruitful paths that we take to provide that whole picture that you're talking about. So he makes that as kind of a statement of principle, but then their FBI at the same time is willing to say, but it wasn't terrorism.
Well, that's my point. I mean, proving a negative is a very hard thing to do, and they were declaring the negative before they could conceivably have exhausted even a fraction of the potential leads and sources of information. Now, whether it was ISIS or not, who knows at this point? They have claimed responsibility for terrorist acts that they were, as far as we can tell, not involved in. If this was a claim from a real ISIS spokesperson or spokesforum or whatever, when they do that, though, and they have zero basis on which to make the claim, ultimately that undercuts their credibility. Not that I'm sure they have the same value on that we do, but I don't take anything they say at face value. But it certainly was interesting that they made that claim, and especially now, if the leaks from the investigation are accurate, that the girlfriend, who says she's madly in love with the killer, also says she had absolutely no idea any of this was going on. So I don't think we're any further along today, sadly, than we were right after the incident in figuring out what motivated the killer.
Right, and that's frustrating for us, but it's really frustrating for the victims' family members who want to know why their loved one is dead. What does your gut tell you about why he did what he did?
Well, to me, it's completely incomprehensible. The idea that somehow childhood disturbances or gambling debts, I mean, it's just not. There's no linkage between the travails that every human being goes through at some point and deciding you're going to become a mass murderer. I mean, to me, it's still a complete question mark. You can discuss theories, but until there's some hard evidence, of course it's frustrating, but I don't see what it could be.
Yeah, just going back to the ISIS thing to close the loop on that. If it turns out, as suspected, that this has nothing to do with radical Islamic terrorism or ISIS, it's not ISIS related, does that say something about ISIS being in desperate straits? Does that say something about ISIS losing its grip or diminishing as a threat?
Well, I don't think we can say that it's diminishing as a threat. I mean, it's inevitably the caliphate that it established on the territory of what I think we can call the former states of Syria and Iraq. That will be conquered. We will, and our allies, which unfortunately include the Iraqi government, a wholly owned subsidiary of the Ayatollahs in Tehran. But I don't think it's going to be too much longer before the caliphate ceases to exist on the territory it now holds. But already many of the ISIS leaders have exfiltrated from the caliphate. They're in Libya, they may be in Yemen, they could be in Afghanistan and Pakistan. They've gone around the world to continue ISIS's terrorist work. Now, how that will function once the caliphate itself is destroyed, we can't say, but I do think their capacity to carry out terrorist attacks may well not be diminished. Their capacity to carry out conventional warfare against the forces arrayed against them may be about to prove insufficient. But that doesn't tell you what their terrorist capabilities are.
He is former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, thanks as always for being with us. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks again for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the Glenbard Superintendent's property tax appeal. But first, here's your forecast. Some sunshine today, giving way to some clouds. Pretty warm, a high of 75 degrees. Tonight we have rain and thunderstorm around. And then for your Friday, we're going to have periods of rain, a high of 72. Let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. 8094 eastbound. Seeing delays from Indianapolis Boulevard to Klein Avenue. Westbound's okay. Eden's 27 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 22. Kennedy 48 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 46. The Eisenhower 49 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 40. Stevenson inbound delay. Start at Weber. It's an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 48 minutes. Bryan 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Delays on the Tri-Standard northbound Southwest Highway to the 83rd Street toll, 75th to Hinsdale Oasis, from Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The European Union wants more taxes from Amazon and Apple. A $75 million alumni gift to the business school at the University of Chicago. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. The European Union applying more pressure on both Apple and Amazon to pay their taxes to the EU. Apple is already battling an Irish court order that would require it to pay billions of dollars in uncollected taxes to the Irish government. Both tech giants are being pressed for another $300 million in unpaid taxes to the European Union. Economic reports that we're following today include new jobless claims numbers, updated chain store sales, and the latest on international trade. The University of Chicago has received the second largest donation in its history, $75 million donated by a couple who met at the University of Chicago 4 decades ago. The money will be used for key initiatives and scholarships for students pursuing business degrees. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
As flu season approaches, you know how to protect yourself against colds and viruses. But do you know how to protect your computer network? Ransomware, viruses, hackers, intrusions, well, they can cripple your company's computer network, stopping business in an instant. Is your network safe and protected? Can your data be restored easily? Well, if not, you need to make an appointment with Turnkey IT today. Turnkey IT provides frontline security for your network and its data. So if there's an email attachment opened in error or network intruder, Turnkey IT immediately knows and remedies the situation. They'll arm your network with cutting-edge antivirus, disaster recovery, and proactive monitoring software systems to stop virus outbreaks before they have a chance to spread. Over the phone or in person, Turnkey IT is your network safeguard against this season's worst bugs. So see what a dose of Turnkey's proactive support can do for you. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Back in 1993, Medishare was known as the best-kept secret in healthcare. But not anymore. Today, there are hundreds of thousands of Americans who've discovered what us long-timers have known since the beginning. Medishare is affordable healthcare that really works. The great thing is, we're not an insurance company. We're a nonprofit community. Hundreds of thousands of honest, hardworking people who agree to share each other's medical bills. Every share goes to help a fellow member. And when we say affordable, we mean it's common for our members to save upwards of $500 a month. Best of all, Medishare is always open. You can join anytime. So how about now? Isn't it time you joined Medishare?
Call 844-41-BIBLE to find out how much you can save on your health care. Medishare, now available in Montana. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE.
Check out the Glock event this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. All the latest Glock firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday and only at Point Blank. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of firearms and ammo, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Glock event is this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Check out shootpointblank.com for all the Glock info. Some restrictions may apply. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop provides a clean and safe indoor shooting range and retail store. At Point Blank, associates focus on customer needs, whether they're an expert or new to shooting. That's the reason so many people are talking about their Point Blank experience.
Brett was very friendly, and he answered all my questions. And because I'm new to pistols, I'm really grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Experience the difference. Shootpointblank.com for more information.
Liberty Mutual presents worry-free music moments. Switching to Liberty Mutual could save you $782 on the perfect home and auto insurance for your needs, so you can feel good about the family budget and the massage you're about to treat yourself to.
This is awesome.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Napa know-how. It takes a lot to get excited about a bag, but most bags can't save you 20% on auto parts. That's 20% off headlamps, 20% off oil filters, 20% off virtually anything you can fit inside the 99-cent Napa reusable bag. So tell your buddies, there's a bag they just have to check out. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Minimum 3 items. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 10/31/17.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I sing your praises all the time because I was very run down. I was getting bronchitis all the time. And ever since I started taking this, at the first sign of a sniffle, by the next day, it's gone.
Love it. Great product. Yeah, I should have taken it years ago. It works. You know, your skin is better, your blood pressure is down, and stuff like that.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, did you ever read the book or see the movie Remains of the Day? Yeah. Okay.
Is it with Daniel Day-Lewis and he Remains of the Day?
No.
Okay, don't roll your eyes in disgust. Why don't you...
With Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson. See it this weekend.
Okay.
It's a great movie. It's a great book. And
now it's award-winning.
The novelist, Kazuo Ishiguro, which won the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Kazuo Ishiguro?
Kazuo Ishiguro.
Yeah, that's why you're doing that story, and I'm watching you.
Yes, right. Yes. No MSG with that.
Oh,
no.
Seriously,
no,
dude.
You can't. No, come on.
No.
Aw, I'm kind of just complimenting him. I'm a fan.
But congratulations.
Yeah, it's great.
What's the premise? We have some time. We have 3 hours. Let's go. What do you got for me?
Here's what I got. The Glenbard Schools superintendent. This guy, District 87, David Larson, paid nearly $700K for his home in Glen Ellen, but he claimed it was uninhabitable because he's trying to lower his property tax bill.
Okay.
It's just assessed consistent with the other homes in the neighborhood, I should say, at about $950,000. He's appealing his property taxes of $23,871 per year,
how much is he paying taxes a year?
23. Well, it's a $950,000 house. I mean, property taxes in Illinois, almost $24,000 a year. He wants to lower them by 40%. The township assessor says no dice. Larson, this is why this is interesting, because he supports the tax increase referendum that was imposed. He slams private schools as inferior to public schools for, quote, hiring younger teachers with no promise of permanent employment. He says those parents who choose private schools are weakening and fragmenting their communities, eroding the foundation of our democrat society. This is a guy who taxpayers finance to the tune of some $300,000 a year to be a superintendent. He moved here from suburban Detroit. So now he's great with increasing your property taxes. He chastises you for paying your property taxes to support the local schools, also paying private school tuition, and now he wants to lower his. That's Illinois. That's the suburbs. That's why you need to pay attention to your school districts, the drivers of your confiscatory property taxes that are depriving you of your home equity and a possibility for return on investment. Pay attention, suburbanites.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up the story of what we know to be true and what the remaining questions on the Las Vegas shooter at 7:07.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
A pop tax repeal threatens the Cook County budget. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
58 grieving families now planning funerals. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I want the world to know Denise. She had a beautiful smile, and she was a great person. Loved her grandchildren.
Tony Berditis and his wife were at that concert, shot up Sunday night in Las Vegas.
We initially heard the first round of gunfire, didn't think it was gunfire. The second round started, and I knew it was, and I grabbed her by the hand. When she was struck, she was behind me. I turned and looked at her. Struck in the head? Yes, sir.
Telling Fox's Sean Hannity she died in his arms. The number injured is down to 489. President Trump met some at their bedsides.
The doctors, the nurses, all of the people at the hospital have done a job that's indescribable.
Investigators are still trying to figure out the gunman's motive. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal live in Las Vegas.
Dave, key to finding that is interviews with anyone who knew Stephen Paddock, especially recently. Las Vegas Sheriff Joe Lombardo said he read an FBI report that said Paddock didn't necessarily appear to fit any kind of profile for this kind of crime, but he did cast doubt on the idea that he had no help carrying this out or any accomplices.
Do you think this is all self-facing? Individuals are just
without talking to somebody. It was sequestered amongst themselves. I mean, come on, folks.
An attorney for Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, says she is fully cooperating. She arrived back from the Philippines Tuesday and spoke to law enforcement Wednesday. Her attorney says she had no idea he was planning this crime, Dave.
Jessica, a tropical storm has just formed off the Nicaraguan coast. Nate could become a hurricane and threaten the U.S. Gulf Coast over the weekend. 3 U.S. soldiers have been killed in an ambush in the African country of Niger.
The battle has ended, but it's still not clear if all the American soldiers are accounted for after a routine patrol in a rural area turned deadly. 3 Green Berets are dead, 2 are wounded.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon is believed an al-Qaeda group may be to blame. Fox News, fair and balanced.
"58 degrees and some clouds this morning at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle unveiling her budget plan. But a potential repeal of the soda tax could blow a hole in it. AM 560's David Stewart has a preview of today's plan by Preckwinkle.
A vote to repeal the penny-announced tax comes up next Tuesday, and Preckwinkle says she is hopeful it will survive. That hope is based on the political reality that even if the repeal passes, it's not likely to pass by enough votes to survive a veto. Preckwinkle, meanwhile, is dropping the pretense that the tax was passed to improve public health.
Well, first of all, the tax is about revenue.
That despite the pro-tax ad campaign financed by Michael Bloomberg that focuses on the health benefits of cutting excess sugar from children's diets. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Tribune Media is planning a massive redevelopment of a 30-acre property along the Chicago River on the north side. Company submitting plans for what's called the River District. Project would add about 15 residential and office towers on a site that already includes the Tribune printing plant. However, the property has now also been submitted as a potential home for Amazon's planned second headquarters. Police are searching for the man who attacked a mail carrier in Naperville. The victim punched in the face yesterday by a suspect near 11th and Main. The victim suffered minor injuries. The latest update on the DCFS worker attacked in northern Illinois last week is not great. DCFS says the caseworker remains in a coma even after 2 surgeries at a Rockford trauma hospital. The man who allegedly attacked her, 25-year-old Andrew Sucher, is now in jail in Carroll County. DCFS says the worker was looking to make sure Sucher wasn't again near a 2-year-old child that had been taken from his custody. The American Civil Liberties Union is suing the city of Chicago, claiming its police reform efforts do not include plans for treating the disabled or those with mental illness. The suit filed Wednesday claims that as many as half of those shot and killed by police may have had some type of disability or mental illness. Bulls lost to the Mavericks in the NBA preseason. The regular season now underway in the NHL, and the Blackhawks dropping the puck tonight against the defending champion Penguins. Our time is 7:04. The news service of Chili's, new burgers, ribs, and fajitas. Chili's has news bigger than their new ribs, and their whole menu is better. They're focused on one thing: burgers, ribs, and fajitas. Half-pound Big Mouth burgers, Texas-sized ribs that have more meat, fajitas sizzling with 48% more chicken and beef. Come in today and see why Chili's is back, baby. 7:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
.706. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens inbound delay, start at Gulf Road. It's 33 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. Kennedy, 56 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. It's 23 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound downtown to O'Hare. Travel time is 53 minutes. The Eisenhower, 59 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 43 from Manheim. Outbound 42 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. 50 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 44 minutes to 3:55. Ryan, 32 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 24 minutes. I-80 to the Merge. Bishopford, 33. On Tri-State, slow Southwest Highway, the 83rd Street toll. 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway delays, Farnsworth to Eola, 83 to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorials, 75th, Reagan Tollway, North Avenue to 290. Closures downtown now of Columbus, along with Balboa and Jackson, set up for Sunday's marathon. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds. High 75, then a mild night tonight with periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Low 60. Tomorrow, periods of rain continue. High 71. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
58 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So updating what we know about the Las Vegas shooter and the shooting. Some new revelations yesterday, including law enforcement, both the FBI and the Las Vegas Sheriff Joseph Lombardo addressing the press. One of the things that we found out is that the shooter was targeting aviation fuel tanks, mostly used to fuel private airplanes, across from the concert venue upon which he opened fire, and that actually a couple of the bullets that he fired did pierce these fuel tanks, thankfully, of course, not causing a fire or an explosion, but that he was seeking to do more catastrophic damage than he did.
We also learned, too, that he had cameras everywhere, 2 on the service cart, 1 by the door, and 1 inside, but they were not recording. They were just cameras to let him know if law enforcement was approaching his door. And
we heard yesterday after she was interviewed by the FBI, she being the shooter's girlfriend, Miss Danley, we heard from her attorney who read a statement on her behalf to the press. This is her attorney, Matt Lombard.
And my heart breaks for all who have lost loved ones. I knew Stephen Paddock as a kind, caring, quiet man. I loved him and hoped for a quiet future together with him. He never said anything to me or took any action that I was aware of that I understood in any way to be a warning that something horrible like this was going to happen. A little more than 2 weeks ago, Stephen told me he found a cheap ticket for me to the Philippines and that he wanted me to take a trip home to see my family. Like all Filipinos abroad, I was excited to go home and see family and friends. While there, he wired me money What she said was for me to buy a house for me and my family. I was grateful, but honestly, I was worried that first, the unexpected trip home and then the money was a way of breaking up with me. It never occurred to me in any way whatsoever that he was planning violence against anyone.
So that's the upshot. She claims to have no knowledge, and she provides an explanation both upon as to her reason for being abroad during the time this massacre was committed by her boyfriend, as well as explaining the $100,000 that he wired before he committed this atrocity.
And committed suicide before taking his life.
Right. You believe her? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line.
I mean, I'm having a hard time with this one, Dan, because she lived with him in that home where in the last year he had purchased 33 weapons from 4 different states. And he had other weapons too, and he was stockpiling ammunition. And I just don't know how you live with someone and think, oh, maybe this is just a hobby or he's hoarding, or I don't know. If I saw that or was part of that, I would say something to authorities.
What is so? Well,
he was fixing for a fight. I mean, something's that's not normal behavior.
What's not normal behavior? Having a couple of dozen guns?
Well, he had 33 that he bought in a year.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe Sheriff
and bump stocks too.
Maybe Sheriff Joe Lombardo can provide some more color on that.
So today I'll provide you some updates on our investigation of the mass shooting Sunday night at Route 91. More than 100 investigators have spent the last 72 hours combing through the life of 64-year-old Stephen Paddock to produce a profile of someone I will call disturbed and dangerous. What we know is Stephen Paddock is a man who spent decades acquiring weapons and ammo and living a secret life, much of which will never be fully understood. He meticulously planned on the worst domestic attack in United States history.
Putting together that weapons cache over decades is what Sheriff Lombardo said. So I think it's plausible that she wouldn't think anything of it. He buys guns. He has a sizable gun collection.
Okay.
It's over a long period of time. There's no incidents of violence previously in his history, no incidents of violence towards her that's been reported or disclosed. A guy who dated the girlfriend's sister, an Australian man who dated Miss Danley's sister, said of his interactions with Paddock, he was extremely intelligent, methodical, guarded, and strategic, a planning, thinking type of guy. And he made mention of having a gun room and a sizable gun safe where he kept his weapons and ammunition. So, but is that enough to suggest that she knew or should have known? I don't think so. I mean, I know guys with big gun collections. I don't think they're a threat to the public, and I'm not going to run to law enforcement to say, John Doe has 35 guns, so he's a threat to the public, but his neighbor has 5 guns, so he's not. I mean, what's the magic
number?
What's the threshold number?
And now that you say that, I do know someone who is a gun collector, but they collect antique guns, and they've got a pretty sizable room. But also this morning, they are thinking that there's a possibility he did not work alone. Mary Lou, I'm sorry, he might have been cheating on you, but Stephen Paddock, because they've been reviewing surveillance cameras, surveillance video from all over Vegas, and they spotted him with a mystery woman in the days before the massacre. That's what law enforcement officials told NBC's Pete Williams, who I do trust over there at NBC. They don't know if she has any connection to the attack, but they want to speak with her as they build this timeline of Paddock's last few days.
Yeah, and I still want to.
And that's that mystery woman that you had mentioned earlier from the outset about that was sitting in a car with him.
There was a report initially about that the day after, and then there's also the outstanding matter of the eyewitness testimony about the Hispanic couple that was allegedly, I don't know if warning is the right word, or more like attacking people verbally, saying you're going to die 45 minutes before he opened fire. and I just haven't heard law enforcement address that or the press ask about that. The other thing we know, just in terms of the planning that was referenced by Sheriff Lombardo, this broke this morning that the Vegas shooter had booked 2 rooms at the Blackstone Hotel for August 1st, 2 days before the August 3rd kickoff of Lollapalooza, and he asked specifically for a view room that would face Grant Park, where the concert was being held.
Yeah, that overlooked the main stage as well as several adjoining stages. That shakes you to the core. 400,000 people there, including, Obama's daughter, were squeezed into that music festival. And the good news is, well, obviously nothing happened, but he never showed. He never showed up. Right. So he booked 2 rooms next to each other with a view. And thank God he never showed up. And they have determined that, yes, that is indeed the same Stephen Paddock who was was the massacre with the gunman in Las Vegas.
We also getting more color on this guy, that he was like I don't know, either he was had real sensitive allergies or he was a bit of a germaphobe, but his girlfriend couldn't wear perfume, or he's like anything with chemicals. He would sometimes wear gloves so that he wouldn't have to touch cleaning chemicals. There was specific instructions about how the carpet in his hotel room should be cleaned when he stayed at these various hotels in Vegas.
Yeah, and staying in Vegas, those casinos, that was his workplace. He gambled, investigators say, and the county sheriff said too, he gambled about $1 million a year, had paid cash, $327,000 in cash for his home in Mesquite. And the people that they interviewed yesterday were Starbucks employees in Mesquite, in the small town of 17,000. And they said that they winced whenever he would come in with his girlfriend and line up for the usual beverages. He always ordered the, venti mocha cappuccino. She had her medium caramel macchiato. But they remember Paddock, tall man, big beer belly, heavy bags under his eyes. Like he looked like he never slept because of the large bags under his eyes, they said. But they said they did not like the reason why they winced, they didn't like the way Stephen treated his girlfriend. They said the abuse would come when she asked to use the casino card to make the purchase. The card enables gamblers to use credits earned on electronic gaming machines to pay for food. Quote, he would glare down at her and say, with a mean attitude, "You don't need my casino card for this. I'm paying for your drink just like I'm paying for you."
Okay, well, I mean, the interesting other statement that was made by the sheriff was about the idea that at some point along the way, it's likely he had help. And so that's what they're tracking down, the woman in the car and some of the other leads that were referenced generally without specific determinations being disclosed publicly, which, of course, is understandable.
Look at this. I mean, you look at the weapon obtaining. There are different amounts of tannerite available. Do you think this was all accomplished on his own? Self-value, face value. You got to make the assumption he had to have some help at some point.
Right, and so I just want to distinguish that some help at some point. Remember, the predicate statement was planning, stockpiling weapons over decades. That's different than a second shooter, some of the other theories that are abounding. I've seen some videos online. Yes, they're curious. I don't know. But law enforcement says there was no second shooter. And, we're going where the facts and the evidence lead. Not that I can explain every detail that somebody points out or every flash from a different floor that somebody posts with respect to videos online, but that's what we know to be true, and just don't want to kind of engage in conspiracy mongering. That's what other shows do. Mike in Park Ridge.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I've looked at the reporting, and I haven't seen where in the Philippines this woman is from or where Paddock would have visited the Philippines. I've been there several times. There's about 11,000 islands.
Yeah.
And it's a stark difference between the northern islands, which are really having an affinity for Western life and the U.S. The NBA is on like every channel on TV. And then in the south, on an island called Mindanao, it's an Islamist separatist state.
Mm-hmm. So the prospect of radicalization that needs to be explored. Well, I mean, this is another public determination the FBI has made. Thanks for the call, Mike. That this is not related to international terrorism in any way. We talked to Ambassador John Bolton in the previous hour. He found that quick public statement to be a little bit disconcerting. Why not wait till you fill in all the facts that you think you'll reasonably be able to fill in over the course of several weeks as this investigation goes on with hundreds of investigators before you make such a determination. I don't know exactly where. I have seen pictures of the two of them in the Philippines that have been posted.
At the table with the food.
Right. I mean, we know, obviously, we have confirmation about the wire to the Philippines. She confirms that as well. And $100,000 to buy a house in the Philippines was ostensibly the purpose. But in terms of, her personal history, now remember, she's also an Australian national.
Right. She was born in the Philippines, raised in Australia. She has 2 passports.
Right. So there's no evidence to suggest radicalization. So I don't want to make an assertion that that's the case. But I mean, I think, right, every lead, even if it turns out to be a dead end, should be pursued to exhaustion to try and fill in the blanks that we can fill in. But it was interesting that Lombardo, the sheriff, said, we may never really know the full story of why he did what he did. So that, this whole thing may turn up to be just a rather unique case that leaves us very unsatisfied with the best explanation that's available.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Is that a joke? Coming up next, Mark Cuban may run for president. Is this Sharknado 3, Dan?
It's not just a Sharknado plotline.
That's how they get you. You play the president, then you want to become the president. Today, some sunshine, some clouds.
And Coulter will be his running mate.
Sunshine giving way to clouds, a high of 75 degrees. Tonight, some rain, possible thunderstorm. And Friday, some rain on and off, a high of 72 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. We're seeing slight delays, up to 15 minutes on Metro's Union Pacific West line. Could get heavier. There's a broken rail near Villa Park, so trains are single tracking between Elmhurst and Lombard. Eden's 33 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 28. Kennedy, 57 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 24 from Montrose, 25 in the Express, outbound 52 to the airport, the Eisenhower. An hour and 6 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, 49 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 45 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 44 minutes. Ryan, 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound now heavy, Washington to 176. Northbound Southwest Highway to the 83rd Street Toll, 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and Reagan Philwood to North Avenue. I'm Jim Telemonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You said women are taking low T?
Yeah, it was with my gyno yesterday.
Oh,
come on.
Jeez.
Oh, come on. I've had a longer relationship with him than anybody.
I'm
helped deliver both
sorry
of my
for those
children.
of you who are eating breakfast.
But he said that some women are taking a combination of testosterone, estrogen. So maybe I might come back. Sam, I'm going to go to the low T center too. Wouldn't that be funny if I walked in there and said, well, Dan Proft sent me.
Please.
He said I need testosterone.
I'll tell you what, from now on, let's go ahead and preemptively abide the HIPAA privacy rights that you have and don't share stories of conversations between you and your medical professional.
It's a gynecologist.
Right.
Gynecologist.
Ooh, talk about a buzzkill. Gentlemen, after that, it's time to talk low T. Yeah, when it comes to your health and quality of life and your energy levels, knowing your testosterone number is essential. You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers, but do you know your testosterone number? You should. I know mine. Amy apparently knows hers. My friends at Low T Center made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you know your results in about 20 minutes. How easy is that? Very. So to all my listeners, if you've noticed a decline in energy, motivation, or even mood, you may have low T. Get it checked out. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. At Low T Center, treatment is covered by most health insurance. They'll even verify insurance for you. When it comes to your health and daily quality of life, do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself to call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Proft sent you. That's me. 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 now, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Ever since I was little, I imagined owning a bakery. With hard work, I made it happen. But after this weekend's robbery, I realized that I need to protect my dream with security.
I've got a great answer for you. Alarm Detection Systems, your local family-owned business, understands the threats you might face. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 and find out how we can protect you. License number 127000143.
I manage a construction site, and the other morning we had to send half of the crew home because of missing equipment. This nonsense is cutting into my time and budget.
Here's what you need to know. Alarm Detection Systems offers mobile security solutions that expand with your project. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 to find out about our alarm and video protection. License number 127000143.
Check out the Glock event this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. All the latest Glock firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday and only at Point Blank. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of firearms and ammo, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Glock event is this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Check out shootpointblank.com for all the Glock info. Some restrictions may apply. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop provides a clean and safe indoor shooting range and retail store. At Point Blank, associates focus on customer needs, whether they're an expert or new to shooting. That's the reason so many people are talking about their Point Blank experience.
Brett was very friendly, and he answered all my questions. And because I'm new to pistols, I'm really grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Experience the difference. Shootpointblank.com for more information.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I started out vomiting with migraines at the age of 19, and about 10 years later, it got to the point where it was almost every day. This stuck with me for about another 20 years. When I was introduced to this balance of nature, I couldn't believe how quickly the triggers that would cause these migraines just went away.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Chicago.
Liberty Mutual presents worry-free music moments. Switching to Liberty Mutual could save you $782 on the perfect home and auto insurance for your needs, so you can feel good about the family budget and the massage you're about to treat yourself to.
This is awesome.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Napa know-how.
It takes a lot to get excited about a bag, but most bags can't save you 20% on auto parts. That's 20% off headlamps, 20% off oil filters, 20% off virtually anything you can fit inside the 99-cent Napa reusable bag. So tell your buddies, there's a bag they just have to check out. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Minimum 3 items. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 10/31/17. AM 560. The
answer. Still makes me sick that Paddock rented a room near Lollapalooza because there's nowhere to run there, because everyone's crammed in and there's fences up everywhere. So thank God it didn't happen. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Wall Street Journal columnist and Heritage Foundation economist Stephen Moore about that fourth bracket that's emerging with the tax reform proposal emanating from the Trump administration. And also, are states really more efficient than the federal government? Is that really the right question? We'll have it with Steve Moore.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine right now, 59 degrees. 3 Army Special Ops members are dead, 2 injured, following an ambush in the African nation of Niger. 5 Green Berets attack while on a joint patrol in the southwest part of that country, known to have a presence of both al-Qaeda and ISIS-backed insurgents. New evidence suggests the Las Vegas shooter planned to escape after firing hundreds of bullets into a crowd of thousands Sunday. Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo says there's evidence that indicates the 64-year-old Stephen Paddock planned to escape from police after carrying out the mass shooting.
As many of you already reported, Paddock rented a room at the Ogden Hotel in downtown Las Vegas. This has been confirmed. Okay? Reasons that ran through Paddock's mind is unknown.
Lawyer for Mary Lou Danley, the girlfriend of Stephen Paddock, says she is cooperating with authorities in the attack that killed 58. The Mississippi coast could be hit by a hurricane this weekend. A tropical depression in the Caribbean could become Tropical Storm Nate later today. Amazon testing its own delivery service that could compete with UPS and FedEx. Part of Amazon's plan to expand service throughout the country. It's testing on the West Coast. The Nobel Prize in Literature handed out this morning, going to British novelist Kazuo Ishiguro. The 62-year-old Ishiguro's family moved to London from Japan when he was 5. His 1989 novel, Remains of the Day, won the coveted Man Booker Prize. Fabulous book turned into a fabulous movie. Manhunt for Lowell Ambler continues this morning. LaSalle County Sheriff's Office continued their search throughout the night. Earlville schools and Leland schools say under advisement of law enforcement, school will be canceled there today. 80 officers have descended on Earlville to search in a wooded area just south of that small town for Ambler, who is believed to have been on the loose and near that city starting yesterday afternoon. The former LaSalle County Sheriff's deputy is still on the loose, according to searchers, and believed to be armed and dangerous. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle will unveil her 2018 budget plan today. 7 Democratic candidates for Illinois governor have signed on and will square off October 18 in a breakfast forum hosted by the Daily Herald and ABC 7 in Mount Prospect. Bulls fell apart in the second half of a preseason loss to the Mavericks in Dallas. Blackhawks dropped the puck on the regular season tonight, hosting the two-time defending champion Pittsburgh Penguins. The news, a service of Discover Card. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 7:33 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The founder of Black Lives Matter said white racist hate speech is not free speech.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Again, somebody stupid on the left, not understanding our Constitution, not understanding the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
7:35. Let's get an update right now on your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway, we're seeing pretty heavy delays from Boughton Road to the Reagan Tollway, and it's a little farther north from North Avenue to 290. Southbound 53 is slow ran to Kirchhoff. Edens runs 33 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 28. Kennedy, 57 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 52. The Eisenhower's an hour and 6 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 45 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 14 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44 minutes. Ryan, 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive. Traffic is now heavy. Belmont, Fullerton, northbound stop and go from the Stevenson to Jackson. Jackson's now blocked for marathon setup. Traffic serves Sprint. Learn how you can get the best price for unlimited. Hurry into your local Sprint store, sprint.com/unlimited, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 today to learn more. Sprint works for me. Compared to similar plans from national carriers, features differ. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunshine this morning gives way to afternoon clouds. High 75. Mild with periods of rain and a thunderstorm scheduled overnight. Low 60. 55 at O'Hare. 59 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldstone Financial, helping you become financially independent at goldstonefinancialgroup.com.
The hypocrites scatter when I shine the bright light of reason. I'm Larry Elder. Join me tonight at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A bit of a programming note. Amy and I are sitting in for Michael Medved today on his nationally syndicated show, so you can catch us this afternoon online.
Yes.
And then it's rebroadcast at 10 p.m. On these airwaves.
That's Dan and Amy.
That is.
If you want 6 hours of more than 7 hours.
4 plus the 3.
7 hours.
No one to carry. Yeah. All right.
7 hours. You know I don't do math on days that end in Y.
I do understand. And I mean, I'll tell you, this is pretty interesting. Amy, someday you could be like a big national star like Steve Moore on all the talkies.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't have the chops for it. But you, yes.
No.
Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, senior economist for CNN, economist for Heritage Foundation, all of the titles. Steve Moore joins us now. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Good morning. And we remember the little people like me who helped you on the way up.
No.
That's my question.
No, we will not. Steve, who?
That's a great show. I listened to that show.
It is.
So fantastic. I'm going to listen to you guys this afternoon, and I'll grade you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure and an honor, of course. Now, Steve, on this tax reform proposal that we spoke about last week, some wrinkles. One, there's a couple. Let's take them in order. One is it's going to be from 7 rates to 3 rates, 12, 25, and 35, except there's going to be a 4th rate. What's up with that?
Well, there is some talk about a 4th rate of a higher rate for people who make over $2 or $3 or $4 million of. Steve Bannon used to talk a lot about this. Could we have maybe a 44% rate for the multimillionaires? And I remember when we were sitting in the White House, Larry Kudlow and I with Bannon, he suggested this. We almost fell off our chairs. We said, what are you talking about? First of all, you're never going to get millionaires and billionaires to pay that tax. It's just they're going to find ways to avoid paying taxes. That's what rich people do. And the whole concept of this tax reform is to get the tax rates down so it doesn't have a negative effect on the economy, but also make it fair so everybody's paying the rate that they're supposed to be paying. So I think that 4th rate that you're talking about is a non-starter. I think it's a dumb idea. We want to have the lowest tax rates in the world and not raising any of the rates on anybody. And by the way, I don't like the idea of raising the 10% rate for low-income people to 12%. I think that's a stupid idea, too. That can be easily fixed. Actually, it's a little bit of a mythology for people who've heard about this because most of those people in the 10% rate today actually go down to 0% if they were taken off the income tax rolls completely.
Wow. So, and then everything will stay with the estate tax, correct? The elimination of the estate tax?
You bet.
Can we push back with that?
Mention that, Amy. I just wrote my column on that.
You did.
By the way, okay, here's your fiscal IQ question today.
Oh, boy.
You guys take a guess of how much money the federal government raises each year from the federal estate tax. And by the way, the federal government raises about $3.6 trillion a year. Guess how much of that money comes from the estate tax?
You just heard Amy. She couldn't add 4 plus 3.
That is
that's a tall order,
that
Steve.
Is I'm going to play. Okay, so it's 3.6 trillion. What percentage of that comes?
There wasn't going to be any math, right?
Okay, all right. So 3.6 trillion annually, and what part of that is the estate tax? Revenue generated from the estate tax
On a percentage basis. Why don't you do it on a percentage basis?
On a percentage
basis? It makes it easier. How about 1/10 of 1%?
Actually, you're pretty close. It's about $18 billion out of $3.6 trillion.
I was going to say
you were going to say 18
$20 billion, but you said percentiles.
Oh my God, you would have hit right on the nose. So yeah, but that's ridiculous. I mean, that's less than 1/2 of 1% of our revenue comes from the stupidest, unfairest tax. And I think about people like my father, who was a businessman. We grew up, as you know, in Chicago, and he was gone a lot when we were kids. He built up that business from scratch, and he was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week when I was a kid. He was traveling all over the world building up that business, and it became successful. He employed 50 to 100 people, and he became a millionaire. And he built up, invested well, and became a millionaire. And he, as you guys may know, I've talked about this before on your show. He died a couple of years ago, at 91 years old. And someone like that, should they have to? By the way, he paid his taxes every year. Should someone like that have to give up, half of his lifetime earnings to the government when they die? I mean, I just think it's completely un-American.
It is. Government is not your progeny. That's exactly right.
Exactly. Exactly. By the way, Dan, one other thing. Did you know Sweden, the socialist, Mecca, and Russia, the former communist country, they just both recently abolished their death tax because they said, you know what, this is economically counterproductive. These people, you know what, if you have a high estate tax, what people do is they die broke. And they go, if I can't leave my money to my kids and my grandkids, I'm not going to leave it to the IRS. I'm going to spend it all.
That seals it. The Jakobsen clan is moving to Stockholm. So let me ask you another part about this that's in controversy. We talked to.
By the way, just one other thing on the estate tax. You got my blood boiling on this one now. The left doesn't even care that doesn't raise any money. And people say, oh, well, this is a great way to get all this money out of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and all these, billionaires, the Koch brothers. They're not going to pay any estate tax. They've got the high-priced lawyers and tax attorneys who they put all their money in trust. None of that money. The Kennedys never paid any estate tax. The Rockefellers never paid this tax. It shocks the little guy, that made it rich, that all of a sudden when they realize when they die, they're going to have to fork over 50% of their earnings.
This is, of course, this is all just class envy politics. But I mean, you have Democrats who will privately concede that, I agree with the idea of lowering the corporate tax rate. But if this comes from the Trump administration or this is the Republican proposal, I'm voting against it because I just have to, hew the party line. So they know what they're doing. Of course, you're right. But now on the Republican side, there's some pushback. We talked to Congressman Peter Roskam, of course, from your old home state of Illinois, one of the high tax states. They don't like that idea of eliminating the state and local tax deduction as part of this plan.
Well, I like it a lot. I mean, in fact, that was when we originally talked about this plan when I was working for Trump, many, many months ago, 18 months ago or so. I was the one who really advocated this because, look, why should people in relatively lower tax states that have efficient government services have to pay higher taxes to subsidize states like New York and California and New Jersey and, unfortunately, Illinois that have inefficient services and tax their people through the roof? By the way, if we get rid of that state and local tax deduction, you know what's going to force Illinois to do? Cut their taxes! Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's anything that could force Illinois to do that, but yes.
Yeah, well,
nice theory.
But look, I feel very strongly about this that the low tax states should not have to subsidize the high tax states for their inefficient government services, and I think we're going to put a cap on this. Of people who may liberals love to talk about how they want to tax rich people. Well, let's take away this deduction for people who make over $1 million and make them pay the tax at the federal and the state level. And by the way, that's the way you get the tax rates down. We want to push the rates down as low as possible, so we're competitive again in the rest of the world. And by the way, and I am very worried about how we get to 50 votes in the Senate. You know, I'm trying to count these votes, and you've got Rand Paul, my friend Rand Paul, who says he's going to potentially vote against the budget resolution. We have to pass the budget resolution to get this tax cut passed. And now Senator Corker of Tennessee yesterday said, well, maybe, $1.5 trillion is too big of a tax cut after he had made a deal, that we were going to have that number. So this isn't going to be easy, and it would be wonderful if we could get at least one of your two dingbat senators in Illinois that wanted to cut taxes.
Forget that. Yeah. Sorry, Steve. We're not going to be able to help you with that one. So, look at the...
No wonder Illinois has such high taxes.
Well,
the state just seems to love taxes. And if we could just get one of those two, Durbin, and who's the other Illinois senator?
Duckworth.
Oh, yeah, I think I'll put her in the no column.
Yeah. We're not really a state anymore, Steve. We're more like an Onion story.
Somebody told me, I heard a rumor, I want you to, that Rauner is going to or has signed a bill that authorizes taxpayer-funded abortion.
Yep, the abortion bill.
I hate to break this to you, too. I know every time we're breaking news for you about what's happening in Illinois. Last time it was sanctuary state, and this time, yes, he is the first governor in U.S. history to initiate abortion on demand, taxpayer funding, opening up a new open-ended spending program in a state with $16 billion in unpaid bills. That is correct.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got plenty of money to pay for that, right? By the way, Bruce Rauner, if you're listening to the show, I know you do. You've been a long-time friend. I've been a long-time admirer, but shame on you. Shame on you. Taxpayer funding for abortions. Unbelievable.
That's what we say. Steve Moore, Heritage Foundation economist, Wall Street Journal columnist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Good luck on Mike Medved. I'll be watching.
All right.
Listening, I should say.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. And let's take a couple of calls here.
But we want to thank him for joining us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
Indeed, we do.
Okay.
Lucy in the south suburbs.
Good morning. Listen, as much as I love Steve Moore, I have to do a little pushback here. He talks about high-tax states having to subsidize well-run states. Well, what about the high-tax states like Illinois that have to subsidize states like where the hurricanes hit, that we have to constantly keep rebuilding these towns where they're hit and destroyed? Or subsidizing education for international students? Or how about subsidizing welfare? People that never, ever collect 1 penny in welfare are subsidizing that in their taxes for people who do.
Well, that's a fair point, Lucy. Thanks for the call. This is the point that Peter Roska made, which is don't forget Illinois is a net donor state to the federal government, right? We send $1 to the federal government. We get something on the order of 75 cents back. So that's the argument that he made in defense of his opposition to this elimination of the deduction as well. The problem you get into with any of this stuff is because we've kind of lost our grip on federalism. We even lost the understanding for federalism. There's a piece by Annie Lowry in The Atlantic, these dum-dums over the Atlantic that think they're intellectuals. Are states really more efficient than the federal government? That's not the point of federalism. Read Federalist 42. The point of federalism is the prevention of tyranny, the concentration of too much power in too few hands from a distant government. But the problem you get into with all of this is people are being bribed back and forth with their own money, and the government at every level is kind of the middleman taking the vig. And so, right, you can make the argument Lucy made, which is several legitimate points. The argument that Roska made is a legitimate point. But Steve Moore has a point, too. It's just kind of your angle of incidence with respect to these, scams. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Stephen Moore is pushing a slap and tickle. They focus on what you want. I don't want my daddy to pay inheritance tax. But for you people earning money, there's a new tax bracket. This is more progressive tax nonsense. And you hear it in Stephen. He's interested in revenue. That's what he's interested in. He's not pushing back on the progressive tax. In fact, he sounds more like J.B. Pritzker. All that's missing is a double-sized sport. Yes, he does. It's a progressive tax he wants to implement to pay for the spending. He doesn't want to starve the beast through the true fair tax, which is a flat tax for all of us to pay. Listen to what he's saying to you. He eluded the fact there is another tax bracket for the people that really do make the world go round.
He's opposed to that. He's opposed to that. He's opposed to. Hey, wait a second. He is opposed to the fourth bracket. He said so. Yes, that's what he said.
So how do you push the whole bill if you say you're opposed to a key component of it?
Well,
he's just pushing the bill.
Well, just don't ascribe to Steve Moore positions he doesn't have. He is opposed to raising from 10 to 12 on the bottom. He's opposed to the fourth bracket. That's what he just said.
But you know this. Once it's there, it's going nowhere. He's pushing to pass the whole bill. So I hope Rand Paul holds strong, and I hope others do.
Yeah, okay.
Stop compromising with tyranny. It doesn't go away. It only grows.
All right, Sean, you had me at slap and tickle.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up from Sharknado 3, Mark Cuban really wants to become your president. But first, here's your forecast. Sunshine today. Pleasant start to your day. We'll have some clouds by this afternoon, a high of 75. Then the rain and thunderstorms roll in here tonight. And tomorrow, Friday, periods of rain, but a high of 72 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
The inbound Kennedy delay start at Harlem. It is an hour and 7 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, 34 minutes from Montrose, 28 in the Express, outbound 51 minutes to the airport. The Aiden's 27 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound it's 32. Eisenhower, an hour and 14 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 56 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 57 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 14 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 44 minutes. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes. I-80 to the Birch Bishop Ford, it's 40. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is now stop and go Hollywood to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State Heavy Washington to 176. Northbound delays Cicero much of the way to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
From Struck Films.
Where did you come from?
The true story of a stray dog.
Who are you? That's Pluto.
Who saves a struggling family in more ways than one.
What's wrong? This isn't working anymore.
Sometimes help comes from the most unlikely places.
I don't need you. He's trying. He really is.
Sometimes one dog can change everything.
You're awfully small, aren't we, boy?
From the director of The Other Side of Heaven, The Stray. Rated PG. For theater locations and more information, visit thestray.movie. In theaters Friday.
Life should be an adventure, and so should your health. It's another can't-miss Health Quest radio show this Saturday morning. Dr. David Kolbaba.
You're eating too much food. You get it? We're eating too much food, and whether eating too much food causes kidney stones or diabetes or obesity, it don't matter. We're eating about 75% too much food because you're not moving your body. If you moved your body more, you could eat more, but you're not, so don't.
Create your adventure in health. Tune into Health Quest Radio every Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to begin? Do you fear your job is in jeopardy, or is your business income reduction keeping you awake at night? We're in the best time in 25 years to make a fortune in real estate without using your money or credit. My name is Ron LeGrand, and I've taught 500,000 people to do just that and personally bought hundreds of houses myself. If you'll call 800-865-3959, I'll send the first 500 callers my hot new CD, Foreclosure Fortunes, and my best-selling book to help you get started absolutely free. I'll show you how to build a six-figure income part-time with no previous experience and no license, even if you're a busy professional. Call 800-865-3959, 24 hours, and get my new book and CD free. That's 800-865-3959. Take your life back and make this your best year ever. That's 800-865-3959. Call 800-865-3959 now.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Culture, issues, society. This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
I started attending a church that was held in a school, and I just recently heard that they have been complaining. They came up with two things. One, some of the people that were being churched there smoked. I don't know if they found cigarette butts.
Well, they're allowed to put in what's called reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, and those same time, place, and manner restrictions are to be applied for all groups. But the law is that religious organizations, churches, synagogues, if they want to use a school facility for their services, they're entitled to the access under the same terms and conditions as anyone else.
The American Center for Law and Justice is here to defend our religious liberties. Learn more about the American Center for Law and Justice on our website at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
Hi, this is Hugh Hewitt from the Salem Radio Network and MSNBC, inviting you to a free reception in the Chicago area. Hosted by Hillsdale College, the event features an important lecture on education and American greatness by my friend and Hillsdale President, Dr. Larry Arnn. Register now at hillsdale4chicago.com. Perhaps you receive imprimis or have taken a free Hillsdale online Constitution course. Now you can hear Dr. Arnn share how the Constitution still holds the key to American greatness and the necessity of a properly educated citizenry. The reception with great food is complimentary. It's being held at the Westin O'Hare Hotel on October 17. Register now. The event will fill up quickly and registration will close. Reserve your spot today at hillsdale4chicago.com. Hillsdale is providing this free event as part of their mission to pursue truth and defend liberty. Seating is limited, so secure your spot right now at hillsdale4chicago.com. That's hillsdale4chicago.com, hillsdale4chicago.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Let's take one more quick call on taxes. Steve and Wayne, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Great show as always. I've been in the tax field for 34 years, and when they're doing tax reform, the number one thing they should be looking at is, does this generate economic growth? I'm so sick of the social engineering that they do with the tax code. I wrote a blog on it on my website. I sent it to you, Dan. I hope you read it.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. I definitely agree with the perspective.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of shaming Illinois public officials, as Steve Moore just did with Bruce Rauner, David Harris, the outgoing state rep from the northwest suburbs, was on the WGN Morning Show.
Yeah, explaining the real reason why, Dan, he's not running for re-election.
I will have the response at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Speaking of taxes, apparently the president will meet with tax industry officials this morning at the White House. Fox with the latest on that developing story. Pop tax repeal is threatening the Cook County budget, according to Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. And a mail carrier is attacked in Naperville. Blackhawks begin the NHL regular season tonight. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Their memories are haunted. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's an image that I know will live with me forever.
Glenn Simpson's a Las Vegas paramedic who tried to save shooting spree victims, but one didn't make it.
I watched him change color throughout the duration. And it was one of the hardest things to watch. He had been shot in the chest.
One of the 58 killed. The number injured was revised down to 489. The gunman, Stephen Paddock, remains hard to figure out. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal live in Las Vegas.
Dave, Sheriff Lombardo confirmed they've keyed in on the fact that Stephen Paddock appeared to purchase many of his weapons in October of last year, and that is part of the investigation, along with whether or not he had any accomplices. And he questioned the idea that Paddock got all of this together without any help.
I read a periodical from an FBI profiler that didn't understand this individual. Usually there's a telltale sign associated with these type of actions.
And they have not found that yet here. He says it does appear with all the cameras Paddock set up inside and just outside his room that he was planning to escape. Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley's back in the U.S. from the Philippines. In a statement read by her attorney, she says Paddock told her to leave town and go visit family, but that she had no idea he was planning this, Dave.
Jessica, ever since the shooting spree, Democrats have called for stricter gun laws, wanting to ban bump stocks, devices Paddock used to make his rifles automatic. Some Republicans are open to considering that. Senator Jeff Flake tells Fox.
Anybody who heard the audio or saw video and heard what that sounded like, you thought that's an automatic weapon. Automatic weapons have been illegal since the 1930s.
A tropical storm has formed off Central America. Nate.
And we do expect the potential for a hurricane as it moves over the Gulf of Mexico.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean says it could hit anywhere from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle, maybe Sunday. Imagine this for a wake-up call. A freight train derailed at about 3 o'clock this morning in Atlanta. One of the train's cars crashed into a house's bedroom, injuring a man sleeping. He is said to be stable at a hospital. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 59 degrees, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The manhunt for Lowell Ambler continues this morning. LaSalle County Sheriff's Office continued their search overnight. Schools in Earlville and Leland are closed today, canceled because 80 officers are scrambling around Earlville, searching wooded areas for the former LaSalle County Sheriff's deputy who remains on the loose and is believed to be armed and dangerous. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle will unveil her 2018 budget plan today. The release of that spending plan comes before the county board can vote on repealing the controversial soda tax.
I've made it quite clear that we enacted this tax because we needed the revenue. And we also saw ancillary health benefits.
Speaking yesterday, Preckwinkle said significant cuts would only be made to public health and public safety if the tax is repealed. Police are searching for the man who attacked a mail carrier in Naperville. The victim was punched yesterday in the face near 11th Avenue and Main Street. The attacker then tried to take the woman's cell phone, but left empty-handed. 7 Democratic candidates for Illinois governor will square off at a breakfast forum October 18, hosted by the Daily Herald and ABC7. The event is scheduled around 7:30 in the morning in Mount Prospect. Chicago aldermen are calling on Mayor Emanuel to raise fees on ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft to protect the taxi industry. Far South Side Alderman Anthony Beal said yesterday the extra revenue could help balance the city's budget. Bulls fell in the preseason to the Mavericks in Dallas. Blackhawks dropped the puck on the NHL regular season tonight, tackling Pittsburgh. The news, a service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Apple admits its new Series 3 watch was having problems connecting to cellular service, but the company says it has a fix for the problem. TechCrunch says the issue was a software bug. The watch failed to connect to cellular service when there was public Wi-Fi available. The salmon or calamari on your dinner plate could have been processed by workers from North Korea, with most of their salaries subsidizing its weapons program. The Associated Press says North Korean workers are working in seafood factories in China that supply Walmart and Aldi and stores in Canada and Europe. The AP says most of the workers' salary is taken by the North Korean government. L Brands, the parent company of Victoria's Secret, says its overall sales increased slightly in September. Those sales at existing stores declined. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I used to take 7 vitamin supplements, and I still felt sluggish at times. But with Balance of Nature, I don't feel sluggish at all. Don't do what I did. I took 7 different supplements, vitamin supplements, and they really didn't help in the long run. I still felt sluggish. But with Balance of Nature, I have the extra boost of energy, and I thank you all again. I really, really mean it.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
It is 8:07. Time now for a check of your morning commute. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens, it's 21 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 35, slow 2 to Skokie Road. The Kennedy runs an hour and 7 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 34 minutes from Montrose, 28 in the Express. Outbound 33 minutes to Montrose, 51 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 14 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. 56 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 57 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 59 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 42 minutes to 355. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the Merge Bishop Ford, 40. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, Jan Hollywood to North Avenue. Northbound, it's a jam from the Stevenson to Jackson. Jackson, Balboa, Columbus, all now partially blocked off. Grand Park for Marathon setup. Southbound Tri-State, still Washington to 176. Northbound, 111th, 31st. After the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. Veterans Memorial, slow 127th to Boughton after a crash. Then from the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway at North Avenue to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds increase throughout the day today with a high 75. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm tonight, low 60. Then periods of rain tomorrow, high 71. Occasional rain and a thunderstorm tomorrow night with a low 64. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
55 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we got a couple of things on the stateside here. Governor Rauner popped up a new ad yesterday.
Because he didn't want anybody to know he was officially running for re-election.
Yeah.
Why did he do it so secretly? Normally you have a big press conference, all your buddies are up on stage with you, fellow Republicans, rah, rah, go, team, go. But that didn't happen. And why not, Dan?
Because I think it would have been difficult to assemble that rah-rah atmosphere. I mean, unless he was going to run in the Democrat primary for governor or switch parties, then maybe, well, although I'm not sure that they would take him. how badly damaged he is. But so what he did instead was
what did he do?
$365,000 statewide ad buy with an ad trying to, along with phone calling and kind of Ike Turnering the GOP legislators. Hey, baby, come on, baby. I know I did wrong, but
Take me back, man. Take me back. I
It won't
do
happen
it again.
Yeah. So he's trying to Ike Turner the GOP caucuses.
Is he going to go to church on Sunday at the cathedral and meet with Cardinal Supich?
I'm not sure about his weekend schedule. And then he's got this ad buy touting this school funding deal that was cut.
Oh, is he wearing the shirt?
No.
Is he in the woodshed?
It's noticeable that he is not in this ad. It's just B-roll with voiceover.
It's been called nothing short of a miracle. Against all odds, the highest level of funding for Illinois public education ever. Common sense tax credits for donations to scholarship programs. And historic changes to the public school funding formula to help provide more funding for those children who need it most. There's a long way to go, and it won't be easy, but Illinois is worth fighting for.
Yeah, and so you didn't hear his name. You saw his iconography at the end with his name.
Okay.
But no, you didn't hear from Bruce. You didn't hear from his wife. You didn't hear his name. You just focused on the school funding deal.
Was there video of school children with Pritzker with them? Because every ad Pritzker has, he's down with the babies.
Yeah, but if you notice,
he's always in the lunchroom. Then he goes to the crayon room.
But if you notice the Pritzker ads, every time there's a new ad, there's less children. I think he's eating them. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you want to talk about a health issue? That guy might have a gripper soon if he doesn't watch what he's eating. If he doesn't watch his weight.
Boss Tweed there, Spalding?
Spalding.
Yeah.
I know, I'm serious. I mean, people made an issue about Chris Christie's weight during the primaries.
Yeah, well.
You know, I mean, Pritzker's right up there.
You'd be concerned about him, but also be concerned about those children that may or may not have been eaten. So there's that. So that enough to put Ronner back in your good graces. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
No.
One of the problems he has is that school funding deal, even though I was supportive because of the tax credit scholarships, a majority of likely Republican primary voters are not because of the Chicago bailout, and also that that he's one of these guys who thinks that more money into schools is necessarily a good thing. It's necessarily going to improve education, even though that we've been doing that for 3 decades to no particular effect other than nice salaries for superintendents and administrative officials and 7-figure pensions, which is where most of it goes. So there's that. Governor Ronner trying to stave off elimination from within as he has all but eliminated his chance for re-election by essentially behaving as an enemy inside the perimeter. I don't know how else to describe it. And
are any
you don't
Republicans supporting him right now? Is
well,
anybody?
Sure, there are some. I mean, I'm not being
Durkin.
Well, yeah, I mean, but this is the problem. The outside guy becomes the inside guy, plays only the inside game, destroys all the outside support. So yeah, there's the kind of GOP men and women of always that are that are the junior associates to the political firm of Madigan and Cullerton. That's not enough. That's not enough. I mean, you can disagree with me, but I'm telling you what the numbers are. And what Ronner would have to do, anything is possible, right? But what he would have to do is claw back day after day, grind it out, 6 inches of turf at a time to get back to within a stone's throw of whatever leftist of privilege the Democrats put up as their nominee. And, this ad, well, that's not going to do it. His begging and pleading and lying and rationalizing to state legislators about what he did, not just on HB 40, the taxpayer funding of abortion on demand, which he's lying about now, but Sanctuary State, which he was miscasting previously. So were his sycophant staff and useful idiot legislative leaders like Jim Durkin. It's a joke. I mean, and everybody knows they're being lied to.
Well, do you have any inside scoop on what he's saying to these?
Yes, I know exactly what he's saying.
Is he begging? Is he apologizing?
No, he's saying, you know,
is there remorse? What is going on?
No, it's the whole, like, we need to focus on what we agree on. You know, it's kind of playing the whole 80% Reagan rule. 80% of somebody agrees with the 80%, they're an ally, not an enemy. Problem is, you're down well below 80%, Governor, and people know it. I mean, it's just it's cliched flimflammery, and it's not persuasive. 3 years, it's not persuasive. So he's got a real problem.
He had more of a backbone. I don't know.
Well, and here's
bamboozled.
Here's part of the problem too. It's not just his fecklessness. It's also in the General Assembly. 15 of those Madigan Republicans who voted for tax increases. And by the way, 9 of the 15 who voted for the tax increases, 9 of 15 in the House, have walked. They're not running again. And I just want you to understand something. There is no internal accountability mechanism in the Republican Party. Rauner hasn't provided it. Obviously, Jim Durkin hasn't provided. He doesn't care if Jim Durkin is the only member of the Republican caucus in the House, so long as he can hold the title minority leader. That's what he cares about. Because they take the philosophy of protecting incumbents regardless of conduct. So he wants to protect all those incumbents, except the 2 that he was willing to jettison, Steve Anderson and David Harris. So we protect all incumbents, except it's okay if these 2 are primaried, but I don't want to do it. You do it. That's what passes for leadership in the Republican Party. So now you want to start to get an understanding of why we have what we have. 9 of the 15 have walked, though. Why? Because of an outside accountability mechanism that has not been present internally in 2 decades in the Republican Party in this state. And that outside accountability mechanism are the people that I'm associated with.
Well, David Harris was on WGN this morning.
Yes, he was on WGN this morning. He's the latest, the 9th of the 15 that have announced they're not running again. Harris, who's been there 20 years. Harris, who goes on to WGN because he's in the business of kind of reputation management. And obviously, look.
It's a story. I mean, people want to know why. Why?
Oh, I understand.
He did use the family thing, too, by the way.
But Larry Potash and Robin Baumgartner are nice people, but they don't know anything about this. And so he went on there so he could spoon-feed them manure so as to protect his reputation. And that's precisely what he did in explaining his decisions.
But I think you're getting to him, Dan, and the conservatives in Illinois.
I think there's a concern among the electorate overall. There's certainly an irritation. There's an irritation by the voters on a whole range of issues. I mean, my personal decision was based primarily on 3 things. Number 1, family considerations. I've been making that trek back and forth to Springfield for quite some time. Number 2, can you be effective in the legislature? And quite frankly, especially on the Republican side, too often it's sort of being dictated from on high. Yeah. And then 3rd, I would have had to go through a very bitter and costly primary race from the far right, and you add those 3 things together, and it's time to step down.
Yeah.
There's your real reason. Number 3 is the real reason.
That's right. He wants to keep the campaign cash that he's amassed, and he knows, because I've been publicly saying it. By the way, I wanted to go after David Harris 2 years ago, and we didn't. And so everybody just grouses about him internally within the party. And they let him pass. And then what does he do? He, along with Steve Anderson, the other ringleader, who's also announced he's not running again from Sugar Grove out in Kane County, they lead the charge for the massive tax increases with no spending reforms. That's what happens when you don't excise cancer within your caucus.
Yeah,
and caucuses, plural. And so, right, so Harris was going to face a well-funded primary challenge because I was going to do it. And I was going to eviscerate him. And I'm happy in a sense. Good riddance, David Harris. You're a waste of everybody's time and money. The only reason David Harris even ran for re-election 2 years ago, maxed out on his pension. That's what kind of craven, tax-eating whore this guy is.
Well, he had to remind Larry and Robin why he and 14 other Republicans sided with the Democrats on the budget.
There were 15 of us that voted for the budget, and quite frankly, in my opinion, it was disgraceful that we did not have a budget for 2 years. We put this state in a financial condition which it's going to take years to get out of. We needed a budget. That's the basic job of any legislature, and it had to happen. So, sure, we took a lot of heat for that, but we had to get a budget.
Yeah, we had a budget at all costs, even though as David Harris won't admit, and of course, again, the host, they just don't know. Decades without a constitutionally balanced budget in Illinois. How do you amass $250 billion in structural debt, David Harris? How do you have $16 billion in unpaid bills, David Harris? Because all of these budgets were phony budgets that you were a part of because you've been in the General Assembly for 2 decades, you hack. So he's lying upon lying upon lying to justify being a Quisling, being a tax hiker who did nothing on spend, because that's how you amass those numbers. And a budget. It sounds good, and he can get away with, I stood for getting a budget done at any cost, meaning our failures are your fault. Our failures are your financial responsibility, Illinois families. That's actually what he did. But nobody in the Republican Party, except the people that I work with, are willing to say it. Everybody else just says it in hushed tones, in cloakrooms, and, pss, 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 at a precinct committeeman's meeting. Total lack of courage to get rid of Benedict Arnolds within our party. And by the way, that goes all the way to the governor, as John Tillman from Illinois Policy Institute tagged him Benedict Ronner. So this is what happens. This is why you have a kleptocracy. This is why your home is being taken out from underneath you. This is why people are fleeing the state like it's on fire, because of David Harris. And he puts a tie on and he goes on the WGN morning show and he strings together a bunch of cliches. And we're supposed to say, oh, well, he sounds reasonable.
He was a reasonable Republican.
No, he's reasonable. Yeah. He's
Larry Paddock asked him about bipartisanship.
Treacherous. What he really asked him about is, does Madigan have too much power? And what does David Harris do? Here's the real tell, if you don't believe me. What does he do? He flacks for
It's not
Madigan.
just Mike Madigan. I disagree with the speaker on a whole range of issues, but right now, the Republican Party is kind of in turmoil among itself. There's an open revolt almost in the House Republican ranks against the governor because of the abortion bill that he signed. So there's not dictatorial power.
Yeah, right. So it's not just Madigan, who everybody except David Harris concedes is the most powerful politician in Illinois and has been for 4 decades. But it's not just Mike Madigan, because he's Mike Madigan Republican. So we have to do this. Yeah, there's turmoil in the Republican Party. Damn right there is. You know why? Because we have enemies inside our perimeter like David Harris. That's why there's turmoil. And we have a leadership of the Republican Party that's not willing to do anything about repeated traitorous acts, because the leadership of the Republican Party is engaged in the same betrayals. So, yeah, that's why there's a revolt against people on the inside acting as junior partners to the Chicago Democrat establishment who don't get any benefit. They just get bills in the mail with bigger numbers at the bottom in the invoice line. And then David Harris and Jim Durkin and Bruce Rauner, run around kind of covering for one another and offering you these treacly statements of unity. Couldn't care less. They could not care less about you. In fact, they're disgusted by you. You are a nuisance to them. Let me tell you, I've been in enough conversations over the last 23 years in Republican Party politics in this state to know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm one of the few people who will name names. And everybody, props to Blowhard, props to, whatever, a circus clown, and props this and props that, fine. I'm whatever you say I am. Challenge people to address the substance of what I'm saying. Challenge people to offer their assessments, those who know them, of the people I'm talking about. Challenge them on the merits. Be interesting to see what feedback you get. You can, name call all you want. I've got armadillo skin. I am not going to participate in these scams. I've made mistakes throughout my time in Illinois politics and flacking for people I shouldn't have flacking for people for longer than I should have flacked for them. And so I'm going to do my best to do penance for my previous sins and tell you exactly what I know to be true, how I know it to be true, make arguments, not wave flags. That's what these guys do. And they've been part and parcel of the destruction of this great state. They've been part and parcel of this grotesque monster called state government that takes everything from earnest people who play by the rules that were set forth, work diligently, want to believe in their elected representatives, and are taken advantage of at every turn. And they laugh about it. And they think you're an idiot. And they think you're a nuisance. And it's up to you to stop it. Kurt in Lamont.
Hi, Dan and Amy. How are you doing?
Good.
I'd love to know where all of these people who voted for the budget are going to land at the end of the day and what they were promised in order to make that vote.
Well, that's a very good question and a point you raised, Kurt. And we'll track a number of these people. I mean, some, like David Harris, are just going to enjoy their seven-figure pension on your dime.
And enjoy time with his family.
Oh, of course. So sure. Yeah. Oh,
but does
remember
your family want to spend time with you?
Exactly. If I was David Harris's family, I wouldn't. Hey, Dad, run again.
Stop.
Janie in Lakeview.
Yes. Hi, Dan. I just wanted to ask who you would support. Is there anybody out there that you think is going to be good for Illinois? And if not, why don't you consider running?
Thank you for the call, Janie. Why didn't quit show business?
No, seriously. Are you going to run for governor?
No.
Everyone keeps asking.
And
I was
so-
stopped on the street by some DNA reporter who asked me if you're going to run for governor.
State legislators, there's a lot of good candidates that are running for legislative office, and the play is to depose Madigan. That's what has to be part of what we're talking about. In terms of governor, we'll see what Ronner does. We'll see if there's a handful of names that are banding about. I'm not going to weigh in on them. But there's a number of good people that are state legislators who are expressing an interest in possibly pursuing a primary challenge, or if it's an open seat, running in an open seat. So we'll have to see how it plays out. It's going to work itself out in the next couple of weeks. Rich on the south side.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. That's what my question was. I won't vote for Rauner either in the primary or in the general election. Somebody's got to primary him out. And like you were saying, the problem is there's so many Democrats that have infiltrated the Republican Party. I'm from Mount Greenwood, and the committeeman that's there is just he's just a yes man for the Democrats. He does nothing there.
Thanks for the call, Rich. Beth in Winnetka.
Dan, your comments were so right on. I wish they could be played in every public high school in the state of Illinois. I get together with women almost every day to walk our dogs, and no one has any idea how seriously in the hole this state is financially. I tell them these numbers, and they look at me like I have five heads.
Yeah.
All they care about are social issues.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Beth.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
Check out the Glock event this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. All the latest Glock firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday and only at Point Blank. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of firearms and ammo, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Glock event is this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Check out shootpointblank.com for all the Glock info. Some restrictions may apply. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop provides a clean and safe indoor shooting range and retail store. At Point Blank, associates focus on customer needs, whether they're an expert or new to shooting. That's the reason so many people are talking about their Point Blank experience.
Brett was very friendly, and he answered all my questions. And because I'm new to pistols, I'm really grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Experience the difference. ShootPointBlank.com for more information.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It's gun control and white male rage. That's what the left says about the causes of the Las Vegas shooting and what needs to be addressed to prevent another one. We'll see what NRO editor Rich Lowry thinks at 8:38.
And he had 12 bump stocks, a device that was given the green light during the Obama administration. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. New evidence is suggesting the Las Vegas shooter had an escape plan. Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo saying there's evidence indicating Stephen Paddock planned to escape from police after carrying out the mass shooting that killed 58 on the Vegas Strip. Tropical Depression 16 is now Tropical Storm Nate. National Hurricane Center says Nate's top winds are at 40 miles an hour. It could develop into a Category 1 hurricane by U.S. landfall on Sunday. The manhunt for Lowell Ambler continues this morning in Earlville. LaSalle County Sheriff's Office continuing their search overnight and into the morning hours. Earlville School District and the Leland School District, under advisement of law enforcement, will have classes canceled today. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle will unveil her 2018 budget plan today. Chicago alderman who is trying to raise an alarm on the failing taxi industry in the city of Chicago is calling on Mayor Emanuel to raise fees on ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft. One of the Democrats running for Illinois governor says it's dangerous to legalize marijuana just because Illinois is broke. Chris Kennedy telling a crowd at NIU this week he thinks it's dangerous to embrace a public health hazard. Bulls fell to the Mavericks 118-71 in the NBA preseason. Blackhawks dropping the puck on the NHL regular season tonight. And the Cubs will open up postseason play tomorrow night. NLDS Game 1 against the Nationals. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. Buy a Napa reusable bag today for just 99 cents, and you'll get 20% off nearly anything that fits inside. Spark plugs, air fresheners, oil filters, all 20% off. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. While supplies last, exclusions apply, minimum 3 items. 8:33 is our time, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer is doctor recommended and backed by more medical studies than any other thermometer. The Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. Get yours at your local club warehouse or other fine retailers.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
They really have made a difference. I mean, when I started taking them, I could not tie my shoes because of the knee pain. I have arthritis in it. And I actually bent down and tied my shoes by mistake. I was so used to not being able to do it. I couldn't believe I did it. And that was shortly after starting the Balanced Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Chicago.
It is 8:35. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is a mess from Hollywood to Fullerton. With a crash, got 3 left lanes blocked. It is 45 minutes Hollywood to Monroe. And northbound, there's a jam. Oakwood to near Soldier Field with a crash, blocking a left lane. It's 35 minutes, 67th to Jackson. Eden's 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 29. The Spur has delays after a crash before Fingston just cleared. Kennedy, 56 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 50. The Eisenhower, an hour and 12 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 55 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 52 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 36 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound stop and go 21 to 137. Northbound 111th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. Adams Tollway heavy from Des Plaines Oasis to Tri-State. Reagan Tollway from 31 to Yackley. Veterans Memorial, 127th, most of the way to the Reagan Tollway, and North Avenue to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunshine this morning gives way to afternoon clouds at a high of 75. A mild night ahead, periods of rain, maybe a thunderstorm, and a low of 60. Currently, we have 60 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and I'm going to talk to Rich Lowry, editor of National Review. He's got a good piece about the gun control arguments being advanced by the left, but we should note, speaking of the left, that, boy, the field of celebutants for the Democrat nomination for president 2020 is getting crowded, and it may be joined, even though Oprah denies it. She's not interested, says Oprah.
And what about The Rock? Oh, no, he told Paula Ferris on ABC News he's not interested.
Yeah, okay.
He was just toying with us for a little bit.
Maybe Lena Dunham, I think she's interested.
Gross.
Jimmy Kimmel, I think he could be recruited.
He's old already.
What about Mark Cuban?
He did play the president in Sharknado. And
that's ideal training.
You know what? That's where he probably got a taste for it and thought, you know what? I can nail it. He nailed it in the movie. He can nail it in real life.
He was asked about this in a recent podcast interview with some fungible Democrat state senator in South Carolina. This is what he said.
You know, Mark, are you considering running for president of the United States? Yes. Considering, yes. Ready to commit to it, no. And what, I'd like to think of myself as approaching it differently. I mean, I mentioned real briefly talking about health care. I mentioned real briefly talking about, integrating equity into small business and having an impact on tax law and tax reform. If I can come up with solutions that I think people can get behind and truly solve problems, then it makes perfect sense for me to run. If it comes down to, do I think I can win because I can convince more people to vote for me, then no, I won't run. I'm not going to go out there.
Sounds like he's been at the Hillary Clinton school of stringing together words that, when combined, have no meaning. Now, also report Ann Coulter shortlist to be his running mate, reprising the Sharknado role. Also, since he can't get Angela Merkel, I think he's going to try for Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, okay.
So he has German representation on the ticket. For more on this topic and some serious ones, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Rich Lowry, editor of National Review, Fox News contributor, author of the book Lincoln Unbound. Rich, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. How's it going?
So, Mark Cuban, are we looking at a President Cuban?
Well, I think what happened last year just has has opened up the ambit, widened the ambit of people you can think of as plausible presidential candidates. So, yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
Well, because, I mean, honestly, who do they have on their bench right now? The Democrats.
Well, they got that 80-year-old socialist.
Yeah, and Joe Biden. I mean, these names are old.
And
they're
Bernie
stale.
Sanders, too. I was talking about Elizabeth Warren.
Oh.
But
I mean, besides the geriatric group there, who else do they have on their bench?
Well, they have a lot of old people. They have Biden, Sanders, Warren's not a spring chicken herself, and then they have a lot of young kind of dwarf-type candidates, to use the phrase from the 1988 Democratic field, and it's going to be as large probably as the Republicans in 2016, and it's going to include some names that we probably wouldn't have thought of usually running for president, whether that's Mark Cuban or not. I don't know, but after what happened last year, everyone has to reevaluate what their definition of plausible is.
Yeah, I can't wait for the parade of horribles myself. I want to see them all, so the more the merrier. Now, turning to the massacre in Las Vegas, serious note, you had a good piece in your outlet, the outlet for which you're the editor, nationalreview.com, the passionate non sequiturs of the gun debate. All the favorites are out with the addition of the bump stock issue, but gun show loophole, assault weapons, guns. Now they're kind of layering in some identity politics with white male rage. It's classic leftist response to people in a fragile emotional state, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not even an attempt to connect this stuff to any public policy goal or to make any plausible case that it would have prevented this massacre. Now, the bump stock thing, I think that is something worth discussing. It seems to be genuinely a loophole, a word that's overused in the gun debate, but it's a way to get around the effective ban on automatic weapons. But the bump stocks have never been used in any of these mass shootings before because they make your weapon more inaccurate and harder to handle. Now, no one just thought of this scenario where you set up a tripod and you're on the 32nd floor and accuracy doesn't matter in the least because you're spraying bullets down, 1,000 feet beneath you or whatever it was. So we can ban bump stocks, and they're probably very unlikely ever to be used in an event like this again. So the problem that people, I understand the impulse. We got to do something. These events are horrible. Just the video is terrible. Hearing gunfire that in this case truly was worthy of a war zone, and seeing people have to cower and run and not know where to go, it's heart-wrenching. So I understand the impulse to do something, quote unquote, but to be rational, it needs to have some connection or some plausible case that would help, and none of this stuff does. Hillary was out immediately with the silencer tweet.
Right.
What if they had a silencer? It'd be so much worse. No, you have a silencer and an AR-15, and it still sounds like a gunshot. It's not a silencer; it's a suppressor. So these usually people who are the most passionate in a debate know the most about the topic. You could say that was true of a lot of Democrats on health care. On guns, they're just invincibly ignorant.
Yeah, but there's always a lot of copycats out there, and if one guy used a bump stock, I could see other people trying to, do the same thing and go, with the same playbook. So I'm in favor of banning bump stocks. And they were apparently given the green light during the Obama administration. Do you know about that?
I know just very little about that. I think, ironically, the George W. Bush administration was more discouraging of the manufacture of these devices than Obama was. I'm open to that. I just don't think it will stop these events. But I do take your point that what basically has happened in America, we just had copycat upon copycat of these type of events, and it's gotten into certain deranged people's heads that this is the way you commit suicide. You go out in a blaze of infamy, you cause untold heartache to innocent people, and then you kill yourself. And that's the root of the problem. If we could break that cultural dynamic and sort of disempower this model of suicide, then we'd solve the problem. I haven't heard any good ideas how we do that.
Yeah, that's the tough one, confronting evil and cultural psychosis, if you will. And John Lott has a piece on FoxNews.com website, and he points out that all four of the 2015 mass public shootings in France involved machine guns. including the 130 people killed in November at that concert venue. He also points out 26 of the 29 mass shootings during the Obama administration occurred in Europe, where obviously gun control is much more stringent than it is in the United States. So it just speaks to kind of the, speaking of this gambling as part of the story, it's like the bad gambler. The left just keeps chasing and keeps fighting the last atrocity with the hope that this will somehow be a panacea, and there's just no evidence to suggest it will.
Yeah, and they're not even chasing the last atrocity. The universal background check, for instance, I mean, we already have pretty extensive background checks, but none of these shooters ever fail a background check. And this is why it's so hard to stop. They're not criminals. They don't have a criminal record, and many of them might have severe mental illness, but haven't been adjudicated in any way. People might have been sort of frightened of them or concerned about them, but unless you have something on your record saying you're, paranoid schizophrenic or something, you're going to pass these background checks. So they constantly say background check, even though every one of these shooters passes the background check. So it's really just a symbolic politics, and I think we're really in a deadlock that will continue to go forward, except perhaps it would be possible to have a deal. We're going to treat bump stocks like automatic weapons, meaning effectively banned, but we're not going to treat suppressors like automatic weapons the way they are now. So you liberalize on suppressors, which the only reason people want those really is just to protect their hearing, and then we make bump stocks harder to get.
What about limiting magazine sizes?
I think that's another one that's worth thinking about. In this particular shooting, of course, I mean, it didn't really matter. He had a lot of time to load and reload. But people make the case to me, you're in your house, you want to defend yourself, you're not going to be necessarily very accurate in a high-stress situation. You might want a bigger rather than a smaller magazine.
I want to get your reaction to the other piece of this, which is this is a coordinated part of the messaging too, at least in my estimation. Sean King, Black Lives Matter, has a piece in The Intercept, White Privilege and the Lone Wolf Shooter, talking about how, angry white men are characterized differently, who commit atrocities are characterized differently than people of color. No wall along the Mexican border would have prevented this. No Muslim ban would have prevented this. Naz Modan, who is a content editor for a publication called Muslim Girl, had her piece amplified by CNN, how America silently accepts the rage of white men. And then no less than the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, during a conference in Pennsylvania, talks about how, we've got a real problem, referencing the State of the Union. All men, all white GOP makes people distrust politics. On one side of the room, it's literally gray and white. That's the color palette on one side of the room. On the other side, there are yellows and blues and whites and greens, the beautiful rainbow representation. And the gray and white, meaning the GOP, is what causes people to lose faith in our politics.
Well, the lone wolf, white privilege thing, I don't get at all. I mean, this guy was a lone wolf, apparently. I mean, maybe we'll learn something. There was some connection to some other organization or ideology, but there's zero sign of it. So he's the very definition of a lone wolf, and why conservatives tend to be skeptical of that concept when it comes to Islamic terrorists. It's because usually there's some connection, at least to the ideology, where they've been radicalized online by consuming Islamist propaganda, or very often connection to these groups, which means they're not lone wolves. They are connected to a broader terrorist movement. This guy Paddock, there's zero sign he's connected to any movement. So I just don't get that argument at all. And look, on Michelle Obama's point, I don't like the racialization of our politics, but look at Black Lives Matter. I can't imagine a more racialized movement than one that insists that you should never be able to say all lives matter. And it's very difficult to quantify, but I think Black Lives Matter and the how mainstream Democratic politicians kowtowed to it, including Hillary Clinton, really helped create a backlash that elected President Trump in last November.
He is Rich Lowry, editor of National Review, nationalreview.com. He's got a good piece on the passionate non sequiturs of the gun control advocates on nationalreview.com. Also the author of Lincoln Unbound. Rich, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Tom Kaloran Photography is ready to memorialize your next event with photos that come to life and preserve the memories for generations. They can accommodate your large group photos to individual portraits, wallet size to panoramic. They can even print your photos on location as a take-home keepsake for your party guests. AM560 The Answer hired Tom Kaloran Photography for our annual charity golf outing, and the finished product was amazing. Book Tom Kaloran Photography for your upcoming corporate event, family reunion, wedding, bar mitzvah, or any event you want to capture forever. And those old family videos you have on VHS tape, it's time to preserve them forever. Tom Kaloran Photography can transfer your beloved memories to DVD and can restore your older, faded photos or enlarge them. Give them as a cherished gift to a loved one or as a reminder of days gone by. Call 708-361-0025. That's 708-361-0025. Or visit KaloranPhotography.com. KILLORAN photography.com.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series this week featuring DePaul philosophy professor Jason Hill. You want to hear from Jason Hill. This is a very compelling intellect. Coming this weekend, we have both Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin, who is opposing the Queen Sugar's sugary drink tax, the repeal vote set for next week. So get his perspective on that, as well as our friends at Northridge Prep talking about their upcoming open house and their philosophy on junior high and high school education of young men. Also very interesting stuff. 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries from yours truly. Podcast of Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, and Heart of the Matter, which is professional women speaking collegially about the salient issues of the day. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, for the free property tax report on your home. DefendHomeowners.com, upstream-ideas.com.
Are you looking for a way to create the life you really deserve? Hi, I'm Dean Cain, actor, director, and real estate investor, and I have to tell you about this amazing opportunity you just can't afford to miss. The National Real Estate Network is offering a free DVD called My Network is My Net Worth, where you can see for yourself the house flipping system that has taken the nation by storm. Who would have thought creating a network of thousands of investors working together to find, fund, buy, or sell properties for profit was so simple? So if you're ready to start making money flipping houses, call now to get your free DVD.
Call 1-800-437-1471 now for your free DVD and learn how to get started making thousands of dollars flipping houses. Call 800-437-1471 immediately, and you'll also get free tickets to a live training event where you'll receive a free meal and a gift package worth hundreds of dollars just for attending. Call 800-437-1471. That's 800-437-1471. And get your free DVD today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's a wonderful product. I mean, it's an absolute wonderful product. I'm so grateful that I heard about it. Yeah. And at first I didn't take it faithfully. I'd forget. And then I'd say about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I really started taking it right. And what a difference. What a difference.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
The same banking team you already know and trust at the private bank has come together with one of the strongest banks in North America. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. We share the same focus on building strong client relationships, and we're now backed by a bank with over 150 years of experience in putting clients first. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to helping your business grow is now stronger than ever. Visit us at CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
From Struck Films.
Where did you come from?
The true story of a stray dog.
Who are you? That's Pluto.
Who saves a struggling family in more ways than one.
What's wrong? This isn't working anymore.
Sometimes help comes from the most unlikely places.
I don't need you. He's trying. He really is.
Sometimes one dog can change everything.
You're awfully small, aren't we, boy?
From the director of The Other Side of Heaven, The Stray. Rated PG. For theater locations and more information, visit thestray.movie. In theaters Friday.
Winter is on its way. Is your grass cut out for it? Fall is the best time to seed your lawn, and right now the Home Depot has 20% off Scott's Turf Builder grass seed bags, 15 pounds or larger. Only Turf Builder has Water Smart Plus coating technology, along with nutrients to jumpstart new growth and protect against diseases. Get healthy grass guaranteed. For a healthy lawn, it's time to sow the seeds of success with 20% off Scott's Turf Builder grass seed, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 11th.
Have you experienced an uncomfortable moment on the job site? Maybe every time a coworker lifts a box, he grunts like a giraffe giving birth. Or you've just seen way too many butt cracks. Call the Timberland Pro Uncomfortable Moments Hotline at 1-877-40-COMFORT. Your uncomfortable story could be our next radio commercial. Timberland Pro knows work can be uncomfortable, so we make work gear that's comfortable. Work shirts, pants, and boots, head to toe. Share your uncomfortable story at 1-877-40-COMFORT. Timberland Pro, not uncomfortable.
Can a teacher require students to stand in reverence to the Pledge of Allegiance? This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
My question is for a teacher at a school. When they did the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, she had some of the students refuse to stand up. She had them all stand up, and then the next day did a lesson on the flag and our nation and the history of it. She is being ridiculed and possibly with some charges from other staff members and administrators.
Well, I would hope that school district doesn't send their students to the Supreme Court of the United States when they have their session. All rise is what they say, and you do that, again, out of respect. Now, if you don't want to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance, you certainly have the right to leave, but having the students stand up as the general rule should be no problem whatsoever. It's done in school districts from coast to coast.
Find out more at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just dial ***zip, and when prompted, say TALK. For your free trial, dial ***947, keyword TALK.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Illinois is the land of the political cautionary tale. From Denny Hastert to Jesse Jackson Jr. to Aaron Schock to Rod Blagojevich, Illinois Pauls are featured in more tawdry tabloid stories than grainy photos of Sasquatch. But it's all too real in Illinois, and has gotten real ugly for kinda, sorta Republican Governor Bruce Rauner. In the last month, the wealthy salesman turned politician has busied himself selling manure-smelling air freshener to the electorate in the form of transgender birth certificates, a sanctuary state designation, and establishing himself as the first governor in U.S. history to mandate taxpayer funding for abortion on demand. In his 3 years as governor, Rauner, who campaigned as having no social agenda, has advanced only a social agenda, and one rooted in cultural Marxism to boot. So as Rauner's poll numbers continue to read like a Chicago thermometer in February, here's the moral of the Rauner candidate profile. Look for the Hank Reardons and look out for the James Taggarts. There's nothing wrong with an outsider businessman, so long as you remember that financial success is not a substitute for core principles, and that business acumen and courage can be mutually exclusive.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical director, and Keith Conrad, our executive producer. And be sure to listen to Medved. Dan and I will be filling in late this evening for Michael Medved. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
The manhunt for Lowell